You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Country star Morgan Wallen has been arrested after being accused of throwing a chair from the roof of this bar on Broadway. I'll have the details coming up.
Also coming up on Fox 17 News this morning, there is a vigil that was honoring those hurt and the lives lost during that Easter brunch shooting. We're going to tell you how the community is healing.
And today is Eclipse Day. Now, clouds and showers and even storms on the radar right now. What this could mean for viewing coming up in the forecast.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4 a.m. here on this April the 8th, and I'm Justin McFarland. We do begin this morning with some breaking news involving the country music singer Morgan Wallen. He is now facing 3 felony charges after he was arrested downtown Nashville late last night. Happened on Eric's Church Chiefs Broadway. That is where we find Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar. Karen, what have you found so far? What have police said that actually happened there last night?
Good morning, Justin. Well, as you mentioned, this affidavit says that country star Morgan Wallen was arrested right here behind me on Chiefs on Broadway a little before 11 last night. Now, 6 stories up on this bar, he is accused of throwing a chair over the roof. Police say officers were standing in front of the bar when they saw a chair come from above and hit the sidewalk, with the chair just 3 feet away from officers. Staff told officers it was Morgan Wallen, and after checking surveillance video, police say they confirmed it was him. Witnesses tell police he was laughing after he threw the chair. Officers arrested him on 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 charge of disorderly conduct. His team tells Fox 17 News he is fully cooperating with authorities, and I've also reached out to Chiefs Bar for some comment. We're waiting to hear back. Reporting live on Broadway, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
4:02 your time, taking a look here, and the forecast has some showers already on the radar for us here. Been watching these overnight into this morning, and no real substance here when it comes to anything severe, but we have watched a couple storms give us some decent downpours and also some decent lightning reports here overnight. Let's take a look here and follow this line where it's headed next. Most of us who are just starting to see the rain have not had any overnight. This was pinned back in West Tennessee for a good chunk of the overnight hours. Now here we go though. We start talking Lawrenceburg out through Lewisburg. You left up toward Columbia and then pulling all the way through just south of the Nashville area right now. A few more of these are going to continue to track through for the morning and then the afternoon. All eyes will literally be to the sky. It is Eclipse Day. Viewing conditions. Well, we're going to have mild mornings and scattered storms all week. So what does that mean for cloud cover later on this afternoon? Finding our spot right there on the map, 2 p.m. We're going to stop here when this is going to be our peak time to view, and there will be some cloud cover out there for us. Not going to necessarily say it is overcast, but the more north and west we get away from the Nashville area, the better chance we have of viewing this. It does happen right around 2:03 to be specific later on this afternoon. So it's only a 5-minute window to see that it's 95% totality for us here. We'll keep our eyes to it. Just know that there may be some clouds in your neck of the woods depending upon how far south and east you go. This afternoon, breezy and 74 degrees. Right now you're waking up right side of your screen in the 50s to right near 60.
Steer clear traffic this morning. Let's get you out and about to I-40 there at Donaldson Pike. As you make your drive out near the airport, we're doing okay despite the fact that the roads are wet out there this morning. No question about it. Quite a bit of rain has fallen there across Metro Nashville overnight, so that is leading to some wet roads, no question about it, near the airport. But we are not seeing major delays, no major crashes. We did have a major piece of the interstate shut down over the weekend because of construction near Metro Center. That particular part of the road has reopened, so no more problems this morning. We'll continue to follow anything that happens with Steer Clear Traffic live and local through 9. Well, the Salem town community is beginning to heal. This is just 1 week after the Easter Sunday mass shooting left 1 person dead and 6 others hurt. Now, the owner of Roasted and head chef Erica Freiser spoke at her restaurant at the vigil overnight. Erica is known as Chefy to many who frequent the beloved neighborhood spot. Erica was also one of the 6 victims who was shot, but perhaps the family most affected is Alan Beecham, who did not survive.
The family of Alan Beecham and our victims, I am praying for you and with you.
Now, the suspected shooter in this case is Anton Rucker. He was arrested last week in Kentucky. He is now being charged with homicide and is waiting to be transferred back here to Nashville. Well, there are some new beginnings for 8 Nashvillians out there. We're going to tell you about the efforts by Habitat for Humanity to give folks in a brand new home and honoring the iconic Nashvillians in the process. Plus, a heartbreaker for the boys in gold.
Game going. 2 hosts.
Let's play
Jeopardy.
1 Jeopardy.
Wow, what a great game.
Watch tonight at 5, then watch Fox 17 News at 5:30.
4:07 is the time. In Operation Crime and Justice, a man is in jail in Nashville after a man was seriously hurt while riding a Lime scooter. Now, we're talking about Leonard John Patrick Roker. He is at the Vanderbilt University Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. Police tell us that the truck came up from behind the scooter at a high rate of speed and hit it before crashing into a pole. The driver is identified by police as the man that we will show you here a little bit later. He is being charged with vehicular homicide and reckless endangerment. In the meantime, he's also being tested for the presence of drugs or alcohol, according to police. Well, in your community, 8 people now have the keys to their very own home, thanks to Habitat for Humanity and our Nashville community. Now, yesterday's home dedication happening on the north side of town in the North Nashville Village by the Creek neighborhood. The area has 58 single-family homes built by Habitat for Humanity of Greater Nashville. Homeowners invest 12 months of sweat equity along with an education on being a homeowner. They are also helping build their home and coupling their own money with donations throughout the organization to make it all possible.
Getting finances in order, making sure that I am just in alignment with what I need to be doing, holding myself accountable, telling my money where it needs to go to finally become a homeowner.
All of a sudden having something that can be passed down to their children for generations, the equity built up for home ownership, the stability provided, which allows children to go to the same school year after year.
In addition to the home dedications, the Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell stopped by to help name 2 streets nearby after some prominent local African-American leaders like Dr. Carolyn Baldwin Tucker, who was the very first African-American woman on Davidson County's council at large. In 1999, she also spent 50 years working in the public education sector for Metro schools. And then later, the late Chester Hughes served as a council member in 2003 and was instrumental to bringing big retailers to the area and keeping utility lines underground for neighborhood beautification. Well, today, Fox 17 News is bringing you a 30-minute solar eclipse special. It will air from 1:45 until 2:15. It's going to happen on our website. Our chief meteorologist, Katie Morgan, will be in Marion, Illinois. That is in the path of totality, sharing some amazing science facts about the eclipse while it is happening. But that's not all. You can watch total coverage of the eclipse from Texas to the Northeast, starting at noon and then continuing on until 3 o'clock. It's all happening on our website at fox17.com. A real heartbreaker for Nashville SC over the weekend over at Geodis Park as the boys in gold fell to Philly in the final minute of the match. Nashville SC was able to get on the board thanks to a goal by Sam Surdridge. You can see it right there. And things are exciting there at Geodis Park. Everybody's happy. The boys in gold continued to dominate the rest of the first half, leading 1-0 at halftime. However, the momentum shifted to the opposing team in the second half as Philly came out with new energy and got a goal there. It looked as if the 2 clubs would end in a 1-1 draw, but somehow Philadelphia capitalized on a kick and found it wide open. That is Daniel Gezag with a game winner and a crushing end for Nashville SC as he scored a goal in the 90th minute of the match. It also marks the third straight game Nashville SC has conceded a goal on a set piece. Well, next up for Nashville, the boys in goal, they will have 13 days off and then return to action coming up on April the 20th when they take on Miami. That game is on the road. Now, as I mentioned, Nashville SC getting a couple of weeks off here before they take on Miami. They won't be home at Geodis Park for a couple of more weeks. Hopefully things will start to improve.
And coming up, it is that big day here where we do have the eclipse 203. What will the sky look like? What's the viewing going to be like? And how many days in a row we're going to have storms? That's all coming your way.
Plus, clear traffic takes us north of town. 65 Trinity Lane looking good so far. We've got the details on your traffic.
Prepare and stay safe.
Fox 17 News Code Red weather alerts.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. In your community, more than 125 citizens and police officers were recognized at Metro Police in their annual awards ceremony. Now, the department also honored those who responded to the active shooter call that took place at the Covenant School back on March the 27th of last year. Metro Police Chief John Drake had this to say.
The work that the men and women do day in and day out is truly amazing. But when you look at the Covenant incident and how we responded, not just the officers that went in, they were heroic, but the officer that was taking gunfire, the teachers who sheltered kids in place, Dr. Kuntz, who had the forethought to do active, aggressive training, to do all that, it came together, and then to honor them for that is really, truly special for us. I fought back tears when we did it.
Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell was also there to offer words of thanks, as well as plaques, certificates, and uniform ribbons to those who were there to receive them. Well, there is a Space Jam session going on right now. We're not talking about Bugs and Daffy and Michael Jordan and LeBron. We're talking about a big, giant space traffic jam in this case that could start to really grow as the day goes on here. Today is the day for the solar eclipse, and that is when the moon passes in front of the sun, blocking out the sunlight. Road travelers may face long lines when this happens. They're also going to be slowing down and moving over to the shoulder of the road as well to try to look into the sky. Transportation officials say there are traffic and safety impacts to the eclipse, and one big challenge is keeping traffic just moving here. Officials advise against pulling over on the shoulder of the road. They are asking you to plan ahead, have plenty of gas, and keep a map with you if at all possible, just in case cell phones may go out because there's so many people trying to use them at the same time. So the question is the weather going to cooperate? Greg Bobus has got a really big job. A lot of people counting on you, Greg. Good luck.
We're going to try our best to make this one work. I cannot guarantee you that everyone's going to have the same scenario. Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, a lot of geography there.
Yeah.
So not everyone's going to be guaranteed a crystal clear day or even great viewing. Let's just jump right in and take a look at what I'm seeing and what we could be seeing on the radar when we get to 2 o'clock. That is the prime time here. That is that 5-minute window where you're going to see it at its darkest here when it comes to the moon blocking 95% of the sun. Rainy week is ahead of us. Storms are likely today, tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. Each day comes with a different timing, but also the possibility of some storms. So eclipse viewing, let's just take a look here. Current radar, last 3 hours here, tracking into some weakening thunderstorms. Nothing to worry about here, no severe weather, but if you're in the Murfreesboro area, out toward Lewisburg, Columbia, even Smyrna now, we're working our way in through some rain. This is not going to be an all-day event. You'll see here on Future Track momentarily that what is right over us right now doesn't last that much longer before this initial band pulls away. So here, 4 a.m. taking us into the latter hours of this morning. Here's 10 o'clock, getting toward the plateau here, and then things continue to move away. But look, 2 p.m., this is the time. We're going to have these pockets of some cloud cover that do really envelope much of the area. What I'm more concerned about are areas where there could be a few pop-up showers at that point, maybe even a weak thunderstorm or two. Those clouds are the ones that can get taller and make it much more difficult to break through the clouds and see up into the sky. So we are really iffy here for this one. When it comes down to percentage of coverage coverage when it comes to cloud cover. The more north and west we get, the less cloud cover we'll have. The more south and east we go, the more cloud cover we're going to see. If you're in the Tullahoma area, only about a 25% chance you can see this eclipse very well. And really, Nashville, only about a 40% chance that we have a decent enough window there around 2 p.m. to see the eclipse as well.
But you're saying there's a chance.
There is.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Let's get to your steer clear traffic out there this morning. I-65 Trinity Lane north of town. As you can see there, traffic moving along without delay. We're doing really nice so far on that particular drive. No big problems in either direction. As a matter of fact, we're all in the green so far. Mount Juliet, 26 minutes. Murfreesboro, 49 minutes. Franklin, 27 minutes coming in from the south side of town. Well, many students are now foregoing college and going straight to trade school. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike McMinnville has the story.
A new trend in education as members of Generation Z are going back to traditional trade work. From fall 2022 to fall 2023, the number of students enrolled in vocational-based community colleges increased 16%. Jessica Varney just finished her apprenticeship as a pipe fitter last May and says she hears complaints from peers.
College is expensive. I want to work with my hands and I want to learn something that I can actually use.
Zach Capriati got his start out of high school working at a mechanic shop and saw opportunity.
The overall industry of tradesman work is lacking people. There's a high demand for people right now, high demand of work.
A big issue right now is a number of prominent universities such as Yale, Harvey Mudd, Boston University, and the University of Miami are now costing more than $90,000 per year. College advocates note there are cheaper options and cite studies showing that four-year degrees may lead to career contentment.
They find that workers who have that degree tend to be broadly more satisfied.
One expert says those who work in trades may max out their earnings early unless they become the boss.
If you're going to go to a trade school, unless you're going to start a small business or something like that, then you are putting some limits probably on your lifetime earnings.
But with concerns about the growth of AI, another expert suggests trade jobs are likely to last long term.
Trade schools definitely offer more job security right now because there's a lot of unknowns with artificial intelligence, and you don't want to invest in a career track with a degree program where you don't even know if you're going to have a job by the time you graduate.
The White House says college should be affordable for those who want to attend, but at many of the nation's private colleges and universities, that is getting more out of reach. In Washington, Mike McMinnville, Fox News.
Well, coming up, continuing the search for Sebastian Rogers. We've got the very latest on the search efforts for that missing autistic teen. Thanks for waking up with us every morning right here on Fox 17 News this morning. We're your only local news source live with you with your traffic and weather and updates from 4 a.m.
and clarity to major stories. The bottom line is our recall system is broken. The National Desk covers our nation at the local level.
You're not going to prevent every train crash, but you can make them less likely.
The bus flipped and landed in the creek bed.
The National Desk team of impartial, unbiased, and fact-based journalists
require car companies to make sure their safety systems worked at night.
Women's pain has been normalized for way too long.
I'm Jan Jeffcoat. Choose America's News now from the National Desk.
Whenever they didn't find Sebastian after the second, third day, it really hit my heart.
After a 6th week of searching, the community gathered on Saturday to pray that Sebastian Rogers is found. Now, friends and family, as well as people just searching there in that area for Sebastian Rogers, met by the marina there in Hendersonville, holding hands, wearing ribbons, Sebastian's favorite color of green. The 15-year-old with autism was reported missing back on the morning of February 25th and has not been seen since. There has been an Amber Alert put out to help in his finding, they hope. The stepfather in this case His mother and stepfather, Katie and Chris Proudfoot, believe that Sebastian walked off overnight from their home in the Shackle Island community there in Sumner County. But after a month and a half of searching, there's been no trace of Sebastian Rogers. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office saying other leads, like a pair of eyeglasses found earlier this week, turned out not to be viable. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, has searched every day and says he will not stop until his son is found.
My heart is out there somewhere, and with y'all's help, everybody keeping their eyes open, your heads up, we'll find my son. You guys are Sebastian's army. We will find him. We will find him alive. We will find him well. That is all it is. God willing. Because I will never stop.
The Sumner County Sheriff's Office, as well as the TBI, relaunched their ground search for several days last week, just going back over the area where Sebastian disappeared. Officials say there has been no specific leads or evidence that is prompting that particular effort. They say they are committed to leaving no stone unturned in bringing Sebastian home safely. Community volunteers continue the search on a regular basis.
426, taking a look at your Code Red forecast, getting up and out the door. What are we wearing today? What are we going to do to just plan for this eclipse day later on today? Well, I'm grabbing the umbrella for sure. We have some rain out there right now that we'll track as soon as we get into our 4:30 half hour. We'll take a look at a few more showers possible later today that could impact the viewing of our eclipse at 2 o'clock. As far as everything else goes, temperatures right now we're in the upper 50s and low 60s. So you don't need to go with the extremely heavy layers when it comes to the winter coats and the boots and all those things. But definitely make sure you know we're only going to be in the upper 60s to low 70s later on this afternoon. So plan it that way when we're getting up and getting out the door here. You'll be using the windshield wipers in a few spots, and there will be some wet pavement out there. And I'm seeing a little bit of fog creep in behind showers that are exiting in some areas. So we'll watch out for that. We will keep things in the 50s throughout the morning, beginning to dry out slowly before some afternoon rain that we will plan out for you as we get into the next check of your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic this morning gets us out to I-40 at Dallas and Pike near BNA. As you can see out there, traffic moving along really nicely. No big problems over there near the airport this morning. No big problems anywhere. We're doing okay as you get out and about this morning. Could not ask for better traffic as you get out and about so far. We may have picked up a couple of things here and there, but really they're not showing, if they are there, not showing out there on our cameras or anywhere else. So we'll continue to watch for you, get you more updates as soon as we get them right here live and local through 9. Well, don't get star-crossed. Today is the big day, of course. We've got the latest on the solar eclipse coming up.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, country music singer Morgan Wallen is arrested in a downtown bar. We're going to tell you about the charges he's facing and what he's accused of doing.
And taking a look at this morning, some rain tracking through the area. Some of us still seeing it coming down. We'll track that and what it could mean for later on this afternoon and the eclipse viewing. We finally made it to the day.
Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. It's a Monday morning here on April the 8th. I'm Justin McFarland. We're going to begin with some breaking news happening from downtown Nashville. That is where country music singer Morgan Wallen is now facing 3 felony charges after he was arrested earlier in the morning downtown. It happened at Eric Church's Chiefs on Broadway. It's a brand new bar that just opened up not too long ago. That's where we find Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar. Karen, what are police accusing him of doing exactly?
Well, first, I want you to imagine walking on this sidewalk on Broadway when all of a sudden behind you a chair comes crashing down. That's exactly what police say happened last night. They are accusing country singer Morgan Wallen of throwing that chair. Here, 6 stories up from that roof on Chiefs on Broadway. A police report says it happened a little before 11. Police say officers were standing in front of the bar when they saw a chair come from above and hit the sidewalk, with the chair just 3 feet away from officers. Staff told officers it was, in fact, country star Morgan Wallen. After checking surveillance video, police confirmed it was him. Witnesses tell police he was laughing after he threw the chair. Officers arrested him on 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 charge of disorderly conduct. His team tells me he is fully cooperating with authorities, and we've discovered that his next court date is on May the 3rd at Davidson County Courthouse. We also reached out to Chiefs Bar behind me and are waiting to hear back. Reporting live on Broadway, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, Code Red Station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. You can get more big stories just like this delivered right to your inbox every morning by signing up for our daily newsletter. You can find it on our homepage at fox17.com. Well, developing this morning, Metro Police are responding to a shooting that happened early yesterday afternoon in Antioch. Police say that a 25-year-old man and a 24-year-old woman were shot and taken to Vanderbilt Medical Center. Now, Metro Police have not released their names or what led up to the shooting. As soon as we learn more, we'll give you a full update both on air and online. Well, today is the day the solar eclipse will be visible excuse me, across the United States. Of course, the eclipse will be seen in its full glory, not here in Tennessee the way it was 7 years ago, but in parts of Kentucky it's certainly possible. The path spans over 10 states throughout the South, the Midwest, and the Northeast. Remember not to look directly into the eclipse unless you're wearing your certified eclipse glasses. Let's get to Greg.
That is the big thing. You're making sure that we know what time this is going to happen, and then well, will we be able to see it? Look at radar right now. We have a lot of cloud cover, fog settling in behind these showers that are pulling away from our western counties. And this is going to be one of those days where the race is on between the eclipse getting here at 2 o'clock and incoming showers that will arrive this afternoon toward this evening. But this is our radar. Taking a look at McMinnville out through Murfreesboro. We've got some showers coming down in the Smyrna area as well. You do see some lightning mixed in with this. We monitored all night long for you to make sure we didn't have any severe weather, and we lucked out. We only had 1 warned storm well into the early hours of the night. Nothing since then that we can't handle, and nothing else is going to pop up that we have to worry about when it comes to severe weather. Here's your radar, 433, and we're talking about dying down when it comes to the thunder and the lightning out toward the Lawrenceburg area and Lewisburg, Waynesboro as well. More so an influence in those first showers and storms we just showed you. The big 3 things here for eclipse viewing is, well, cloud cover and then also rain. With mild mornings and some scattered storms all week long, our timing is 2 p.m. when this is going to start to be at its maximum for us, 95% totality. So not completely dark at that point when the sun's getting covered, but we will take a look at our cloud cover, because that scenario here could settle in. Depending upon where you live, you'll have a better chance of seeing that eclipse later today, and that'll be the next thing we check on coming up in your forecast.
Thank you so much, Greg. At 4:34, here's a quick look at your steer clear traffic out there. We have got a crash that we have picked up a short time ago. This is going to be I-40 at Fessler's Lane, just east of downtown. Police are on the scene. They've shut down a lane of traffic on both sides of the road there. So whether you're going to the south side there near 2nd and 4th Avenue or over near Nissan Stadium, if you're coming from the east side, you have to do what these cars are doing, slowing down and moving over to that outside lane until they can get this completely cleared up. Here's another problem. You see what that one car that is doing in the middle of the road? He's realized that he's gone the wrong way. So now he's got to stop what he's doing and force his way back across traffic to get into the right lane. It's a real mess out there. Be careful as you get out and about. You want to use Elm Hill Pike or perhaps Murfreesboro Pike as a good way to steer clear. Intense flooding in Russia. We're going to tell you what investigators think may be the cause.
Abby asked me that once. Mom, did I get cancer so you could end drug shortages?
Cancer curing drug shortages.
Monday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Russia's government is declaring a federal emergency. This is after rising floodwaters forced evacuations in at least 2 cities on Sunday. Now, the floods caused by rising water levels in the Ural River forced over 4,000 people, including 885 children, to evacuate there in that particular region of the country. The total damage from the flood is estimated to be around $230 million. A criminal probe has been launched to investigate the suspected construction, and there could have been some violations there that may have caused that dam to break. Making news in your community this morning, the St. James Missionary Baptist Church is helping to wish Miss Alma Stinson a happy 100th birthday. Alma was the star of the festivities there in North Nashville, where they expected several hundred well-wishers. The pastor of the church, Pastor George Brooks, is cousins with Alma. He says she's a role model for the entire church and the entire family.
She is the matriarch of the Brooks family, and she has several sisters who are also in their 90s. So it looks like longevity is a part of our genes.
All right. Well, Miss Alma is one of 3 other centenarians who are members there of the church. That means people over the age of 100. Her actual birthday isn't for a few more weeks, but she's a busy lady. And this is when they were able to all get together to celebrate her big milestone. Looks good for age 100.
My gosh, yes, absolutely does. Taking a look here at your forecast. At 4:39 here on the Eclipse Day, I want to start you off immediately with future track and take us into the afternoon. This morning is not the eclipse time. It's going to be 2:03 this afternoon. When everything happens, we've been talking about it for months here. This is finally the day. A few more showers, though, for the morning hours through 10 o'clock. Keep that in mind. A couple of rumbles of thunder out there as well, wet pavement, and even some patchy fogs. And kind of a messy start to the day. We get a little bit of a break in the rain, especially in the Nashville area late morning, but then this is 2 p.m. We're stopping it here. A few isolated rain showers, and it's going to be hard to know where they're going to be until they pop up, are possible on the radar. With that, also some blankets of some cloud cover. The more north and west we get away from Nashville, think Clarksville up through Hopkinsville, the better and more likely we will have a good chance to see the eclipse. If you get down towards, say, Murfreesboro, McMinnville, Tullahoma, our chances are dwindling here when it comes to the amount of cloud cover versus being able to break through it and check out the moon covering the sun. So it's not perfect by any means. As I mentioned, the more north and west we get, the less cloud cover we have. Nashville on south, those clouds will pick up fairly quickly and stay there with us for a good portion of the afternoon.
Steer clear traffic as you get out and about this morning. Let's take a good look here at what we're dealing with at I-40. This is at I-40 at Fessler's Lane, just east of town. We've got a multi-car crash, several vehicles both on the shoulder and in the zebra stripes. Metro Police very busy dealing with this one. It's going to require people to peel off into single lanes in both directions there at the split, whether you're going to the north side, that's on the right-hand side of your screen, towards Nissan Stadium, or on the left-hand side of your screen. That will take you over to 2nd and 4th Avenue, eventually over towards Wedgwood. So please just know it could cost you some extra time. You can also use Murfreesboro Road or Lebanon Pike, Elm Hill Pike. Good ways to steer clear. A new study reveals that Americans feel they need a lot more money to retire comfortably these days. A Northwest Mutual Planning and Progress study says that many Americans do not feel comfortable enough to retire unless they have a record $1.46 million saved up. According to the study, that figure is up 15% from last year's $1.27 million, and a huge leap from 2020 with the ideal figure sitting at around $951,000. Now, baby boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Zers all have a wide gap in what they need and what they have saved. Gen Zers have the largest gap with around $1.6 million. Well, is Bo Duke driving fast cars again? We're going to tell you why. You might have caught him over at the Nashville Super Speedway. And it is heavy lifting for a good cause. Look at that. If you need some motivation to get into the gym this morning.
PonceLaw.com. Fill out the form and tell us who you truly believe is a hometown hero and why. Celebrate our heroes with Fox 17 News Hometown Heroes. Sponsored by Ponce Law.
4:45 is the time here on this Monday morning, and some of the strongest athletes in the country are doing some heavy lifting, and it's all for a good cause. Take a look at this, the relentless Nashville powerlifting meet, bringing competitors over to the Nashville Fairgrounds for some heavy lifting. Now, the bench press is around 800 pounds. The deadlifting and the squatting are both around 700 pounds. The weightlifting event is raising money for Hope Kids. It's a Middle Tennessee not-for-profit helping families that are dealing with life-threatening medical conditions.
We also pair them up with lifters, and so they establish a relationship with the competitors, get to know them, and they're here celebrating the day, and the lifters are lifting in honor of them and raising money in honor of the Hope Kid, and then the families get to meet the lifter and draw inspiration from each other. We've got some kids that I think are stronger than the lifters with what they have to deal with their life-threatening illness.
Absolutely. The weightlifting event has raised more than $21.5 million over the last 12 years across the country. Well, from weightlifting to a little basketball, undefeated South Carolina, the Gamecocks taking on superstar Caitlin Collin and the Iowa Hawkeyes in the women's basketball national championship game. These two teams met last year in the Final Four, where Iowa knocked off South Carolina before moving on to the 2023 championship game. Caitlin Clark began by breaking several NCAA records this season, didn't slow down in her final collegiate game either. She would finish off with 30 points, scoring 18 in the first quarter, but it simply was not enough as the Gamecocks are able to win their third national championship in 7 seasons when it comes to women's college basketball. 87-75 was the final score there in Cleveland. As for the men's, their madness ends tonight. That is when top-seeded Purdue takes on top-seeded UConn. The two #1 seeds going head-to-head in the national championship game. That game is out in Arizona. The Boilermakers are looking for their first ever national championship, while UConn is the defending national champions, and they're looking to go back-to-back for the first time since the Florida Gators back in 2007. Tip-off is around 8:20 tonight. Well, take a look at this. The Dukes of Hazzard star, John Snyder, was back in the fast car at the Nashville Superspeedway. This happened at the over the weekend. The actor and singer was not jumping into the General Lee these days, that Dodge Charger, but he was the Grand Marshal for the opening night there at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Snyder was recently a finalist on Fox Masked Singer show. He even has a brand new album out and even sang the national anthem at the race. But of course, he's best known for his role as Bo Duke on the Dukes of Hazzard TV show that aired from the 1979 to 1985 season. Let's talk about some international headlines this morning as a volcano has now erupted on the island of Galapagos. This is over on that chain of islands near Ecuador. Now, the eruption sent lava into the sky and lit up that night sky there across that region. The volcano erupted back on March the 2nd. No one actually lives on that particular part of the island, so there's no risk to any person, but the island is home to a number of animals, including iguanas and, yes, penguins. Now, this particular chain of islands is credited for helping Charles Darwin develop his theory of evolution. All right, 4:49 is the time. Today is a big day as people are going to have their eyes to the sky trying to see a glimpse of that solar eclipse. The question is, will Mother Nature cooperate with us? Greg Bobus is here with some of the details.
That is a very big and very good question. So
yes,
it's going to cooperate more for some than others. We'll take a look at the big picture here first. This is that Monday when many people may be getting back out of town, heading home here later on today. What does this mean at the airport? Well, we just had rain overnight, so we definitely have some wet roads just trying to get into into and out of Nashville. 62 degrees, temperature at 9 o'clock, 70 at noon, 73 degrees at 3 p.m. Getaway cast. Right now it's comfortably sitting in the upper 50s, but there are a few showers that have been out there that will continue to pop up throughout this morning into the afternoon. Let's talk afternoon. What does it mean for the eclipse? Well, right now there's not a whole lot on the radar, but if you look down from Texas up to the East Coast, you connect the dots here, there actually is quite a good deal of cloud cover out there. The more north and west we get of the Nashville area, the more likely we are to see a better glimpse of this eclipse when it happens. Timing is 2 p.m. later on this afternoon. If you are far southeast of Nashville, think even as close to Nashville as Murfreesboro, but down toward Tullahoma, the cloud cover will be even thicker. A few storms will be out there this afternoon. We get new looks at future track every hour, so we're going to keep working through this as we really get honed in on that one specific hour of 2 p.m. 74 degrees this afternoon, 60s and 70s all week long, and every day we'll have storms in the forecast until we get to Friday.
Steer clear traffic at 4:50 this morning. Let's take a quick look here at I-40 at Fessler's Lane. This is just east of downtown Nashville. We have got a crash in a couple of different places. We've got a crash on the shoulder, another crash in the zebra stripes there. This was after some overnight rain. Made conditions in this area pretty slick, so it is slowing things down as you make that drive in from the east side. You can use Murfreesboro Pike, Elm Hill Pike, or Lebanon Pike as good ways to get around some of that traffic tie-up as you make your way in from the east side. We're going to continue to follow this crash, let you know when it fully clears up here on Fox 17 News this morning. Let's talk political news this morning as former President Donald Trump is doubling down on fundraising and big hauls in the campaign money that is almost double that of President Joe Biden. Now, the former president's 2024 campaign team says he has raised nearly $50.5 million on Saturday night. It was all from an event at the home of billionaire investor John Paulson in Palm Beach, Florida. That's nearly double what President Joe Biden raised at a recent New York City fundraising event to keep the White House. Now, after months of trying to catch Biden and the Democrats on the fundraising front, former President Trump says that the new money will go towards getting him back into the Oval Office, where he says he's going to be able to renew the country's image. Long way to November the 5th. A new report from the United States labor market shows that job gains in very key sectors across the economy. Employers added 303,000 jobs in the month of March. Job sectors that showed the best performance include healthcare, government, and leisure and hospitality, regardless of success in adding new jobs to key departments. The rest of the report revealed that hiring in other sectors of the economy in March proved to be a little lackluster. Well, coming up, continuing coverage of the cleanup efforts underway in Baltimore. This is after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed a few weeks ago. We're going to tell you where officials are now shifting their focus. And today's eclipse marks the last one that we'll see
available. They're taken care of.
Our Crisis in the Classroom series digs deeper to help bridge the gap and find solutions. Watch Crisis in the Classroom only on Fox 17 News.
.55 is the time. Live look there on Lower Broadway. As you can see, we are off to a very nice and quiet start out there. Not a lot going on there on Lower Broadway this morning. We got the beer trucks there. They're dropping off deliveries, restocking after another busy weekend there in Nashville. Greg Bobus will be along to tell us about Eyes to the Sky, though. Are we going to have a lackluster day as far as looking at the solar eclipse? He's got the details on that coming up in a few. Before we get to the eclipse, though, we got to talk about what's going on in Baltimore. That's where crews are continuing to remove containers from the cargo ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Now, the Key Bridge response their unified commander there says that the container removal will continue on into this week. This is after the cargo ship, the Doll, hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge back in March. Removing the containers will help to reopen a very important port for the economy. Officials say 32 vessels have used temporary channels as the wreckage cleanup continues right now. One of the prime spots to watch the solar eclipse will be over in Carbondale, Illinois. That's where researchers will be exploring how the big celestial event will affect your pets and your furry friends. Now, scientists with Southern Illinois University says that they are placing some audio, or making audio recordings across the path of totality. It's to study the animal behavior during the event. Typically, birds quiet down and nocturnal animals start to vocalize. The entire project is being funded by NASA. Researchers say that the data will be used for the next 350 years, which is when the next time that the solar eclipse will be coming here to the U.S. A total solar eclipse, that is. Let's get to Greg Bovish right now. He's going to tell us if we're going to be able to see, well, anything.
We're going to do our best to try to break up some cloud cover later today, but right now we're fairly cloudy. We've got rain that's coming down mainly south and to the east of the Nashville area. Tracked through the downtown area about an hour and a half ago, though. 74 degrees. That's later on today. Isolated showers and storms are going to be out there, and we're going to call it a partly to mostly cloudy day. We're going to get breaks in the clouds, but it has to be at the exact time in order for us to see the 95% totality for us right around 2 o'clock this afternoon. No wind to mow. Nah, you're not going to have a great time to do it today, tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. We've settled back into a fairly rainy pattern. Next dry day, not until Friday. Taking a look at the weekend, though. This is a good one, a very good one ahead of us. 77 degrees for your Saturday, 78 on Sunday. No rain worries either day, much warmer. And nighttime temperatures cooperate the entire week. Right side of your screen right now, we have temperatures that are in the 50s, close to 60 degrees, depending upon if you're seeing a little bit of that rain right now or not.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a look here at I-40 at Fessler's Lane. This is just east of downtown. You can see the traffic there tied up in both directions. Whether you're splitting off to the right-hand side of your screen, that'll take you towards Nissan Stadium, or the left-hand side of your screen that will take you out towards 2nd and 4th Avenue there on the South Loop. Police are trying to clear up this crash. Looks like they've already removed several cars that were over there on the shoulder of the road. Those are gone, but there's still plenty of cars there in the zebra stripes. We're going to continue to tell you to take Murfreesboro Pike, Lebanon Pike, or Elm Hill Pike as the best ways to steer clear. Well, some scary moments aboard a Southwest Airlines jet yesterday. If you haven't seen this video, you want to take a look. It is amazing. A plane that left Denver's International Airport happened yesterday. That plane leaving the airport, going to Houston, had to make an emergency landing back in Denver after the engine cover came peeling off of the plane. Now, the cover hit part of the plane's wing. FlightAware says that the plane returned safely to Denver about 35 minutes after it took off. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Look at that. Look at that. As it goes flying off there. The FAA is clearly investigating exactly how this happened. We'll continue to bring you an update, as I'm sure this is not the last we've heard of this. 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Country singer Morgan Wallen has been arrested at this bar on Broadway. Coming up, I'll tell you what he's accused of doing and the charges.
Also this morning on Fox 17 News, the vigil honoring those hurt and killed during the Easter brunch shooting in Nashville.
Rain on the radar right now, and today is Eclipse Day. What does it mean for the viewing? Who has the best chance of getting a pretty good picture of it coming up in the forecast?
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Monday morning. Eclipse Day, as Greg says. I'm Fox 17 News' Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get straight to the top few stories you'll want to know about to kick off your Monday. For starters, yes, let's talk about the eclipse, the total solar eclipse, just hours away, around 2 o'clock our time this afternoon. It's going to happen through Mexico, the U.S., up into Canada. 99% of people in the U.S. will be able to see at least part of the eclipse. And that includes us. We are not in the path of totality. Also, we're going to hear from Greg here in a moment about how the weather could impact our viewing today. By the way, the next time that you would be anywhere in the U.S. and able to see a solar eclipse would be 20 years from now. But Greg's also going to explain more science behind the hundreds of years that we might have to wait.
Oh yeah, we're also keeping a very close eye on Baltimore. That's where crews are working to go ahead and remove containers from a cargo ship that crashed into a Baltimore bridge. Well, crews say container removal will continue this week, and that removing the containers will then help to reopen a very important port for our economy across the country.
The Israel-Hamas war has now gone on for 6 months. Delegations from both sides go into Egypt to try to restart negotiations, but a lot of skepticism here. Hamas demanding an immediate halt to Israeli aggression. Israel says they're only going to accept a temporary ceasefire to allow for an exchange of hostages.
At 5:02, we're also updating you on the breaking news this Monday morning. It involves country singer Morgan Wallen, who is now facing 3 felony charges. It comes after he was arrested early this morning downtown.
It happened at Eric Church's bar that is called Chiefs on Broadway, one of the newest bars down there, and that's where we find Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live.
Good morning. I was told that Morgan Wallen was released just hours ago from jail. Police are accusing Wallen of being a danger to the public after they say that he threw a chair from the roof of this bar, Chiefs on Broadway, and witnessed it crashing on this sidewalk filled with people last night. They say that that chair came from 6 stories up. An affidavit we obtained, it says a little before 11 last night is when it happened, and officers were standing in front of the bar when they saw a chair come from above and hit the sidewalk, with the chair just 3 feet away from officers. Staff told officers it was in fact country star Morgan Wallen. After checking surveillance video, police confirmed it was him. Witnesses tell police he was laughing after he threw the chair. Officers arrested him on 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 charge of disorderly conduct. His team tells me he is fully cooperating with authorities. His next court date is scheduled on May the 3rd at the Davidson County Courthouse. We also reached out to Chiefs Bar for comment, and we're waiting to hear back. Reporting live on Broadway, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
5:03 your time, taking a look at your Code Red forecast, and this is that big day with the real big question mark of will we see the eclipse or not. Taking a look at top of the radar, we definitely have some showers that have been tracking through here and a couple of weak rumbles of some thunder. A lot of that activity, though, really ramped up a little bit more in West Tennessee, getting out to the Memphis area. We haven't really had anything to worry about as far as severe weather goes. We've been watching it for you overnight, and I'm not concerned about any severe weather taking us through this morning and into the afternoon. But if you're in places like Murfreesboro, Smyrna, getting towards Smithville, we're talking about Beech Grove, many areas where we're just seeing these pockets of some decent rain that are coming down. And with the sun not rising for another hour and 40 minutes or so, we're going to have a pretty slow go of it, depending upon where you're coming into town from or heading to out of Nashville. Columbia lightening up a little bit here for us here, and same in the Hohenwald area. Lawrenceburg, you've been seeing these little dots on the radar kind of on and off throughout the last 2-3 hours. This is how we look. Now, how do we look later today? Well, viewing conditions are going to be fairly cloudy. I don't want to sugarcoat anything here. The more south and east we get of Nashville, the more cloud cover we're going to have. And there will be a few isolated showers on the radar as well, afternoon into the evening. 2:03, that is our benchmark time of when we could potentially see the eclipse the best. 74 degrees later on this afternoon. You're waking up mild in the 50s to right near 60.
Steer clear traffic time right now, 5:05, and continuing to keep an eye on the developments in this crash at I-40 at Fessler's Lane. As you can see, it is impacting traffic as it hits the split for I-40 and I-24. You can see the zebra stripes right there in the middle where we've got a lot of first responders. Best detours here if you're waking up early this morning and you're trying to take I-40. If you're east of Nashville and you're taking I-40 into downtown, best detours would be Lebanon Pike, Elm Hill Pike, or Murfreesboro Pike.
Right now, we're talking about how the Salemtown community yesterday held a vigil 1 week after an Easter shooting left 1 person dead and 6 others severely hurt.
Yeah, the owner of Roasted, also the head chef, Erica Pfizer, spoke outside of her restaurant. Erica is known as Chef E to so many who frequent this area in the neighborhood there of Salemtown. Erica also one of the 6 victims who got shot a week ago Sunday on Easter. But perhaps the family most impacted here is the family of Alan Beecham, who did not survive.
The family of Alan Beecham and our victims, I am praying for you and with you.
So the suspect for this particular shooting, Anton Rucker, was arrested last week over in Kentucky. He has since been charged with homicide and is currently waiting to be transferred back here to Nashville. It's a story you can read more about over on Fox17.com.
New beginnings for so many families, the efforts by Habitat for Humanity and those that honor iconic Nashvillians in the process.
And right now, showing you a live look at that Nashville skyline, waking up, letting you know it is Eclipse Day.
17 Code Red weather app.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Operation Crime and Justice right now. The man you see here behind us is in jail in Nashville after somebody gets hurt riding a Lime scooter.
Leonard John Patrick Rooker is at Vanderbilt University Medical Center with life-threatening injuries now. Witnesses telling police that the truck came up from behind the scooter at a high rate of speed and ultimately hit it before crashing into a pole.
So the driver identified by police as the man that you see right here behind us. This is Randolph Ford. He is charged with vehicular assault and reckless endangerment. Ford's blood being tested right now for the presence of drugs or alcohol, according to police. We'll let you know as we get those details.
5:09 is the time in your community. 8 people now have keys to their own homes thanks to Habitat for Humanity and our Nashville community getting to work there. Taking some looks here. Yesterday's home dedication happening in North Nashville's Village by the Creek neighborhood.
Love to see this happening here. 58 single-family homes built by Habitat for Humanity. Homeowners invest 12 months worth of sweat equity helping to build these homes, along with getting education about being a homeowner, helping to build the home like I mentioned, and then coupling their own money with donations through Habitat for Humanity to make it all possible.
Getting finances in order, making sure that I am just in alignment with what I need to be doing, holding myself accountable, telling my money where it needs to go to finally become a homeowner.
All of a sudden having something that can be passed down to their children for generations, the equity built up for home ownership, the stability provided, which allows children to go to the same school year after year.
In addition to the home dedications, the mayor also helping to name city streets nearby after prominent local African-American leaders, including Dr. Carolyn Baldwin Tucker, who was the first African-American woman on Davidson County's council at large back in 1999. Also spent 50 years working in education for Metro Public Schools. And the late Chester Hughes, who served as a council member back in 2003 and was instrumental in bringing big retailers to the area and keeping the utility lines underground for neighborhood beautification projects. So congrats to those new homeowners.
5:11 is the time right now. So many folks talking about the eclipse happening today. I want to remind you that we're going to have a 30-minute special online at fox17.com. 1:45 to 2:15, our chief meteorologist, Katie Morgan, will be in Marion, Illinois in the path of totality, sharing some science about the eclipse. And you can also, by the way, see total coverage of the eclipse today as it happens nationwide. That is going to continue through 3 p.m. at fox17.com. Now, Greg and I were chatting just a minute ago about the timing when it comes to how often these things happen.
Yes.
So we'll dive into that. Plus,
that we will. Unfortunately, a rainy week ahead of us. Those 2 specials that we just mentioned, even if you're trying to seat yourself here back home, you may want to tune into one of those because our forecast for viewing is not necessarily ideal.
And we're also keeping an update on the I-40 crash in Davidson County. We're going to tell you how it's already impacting traffic flow and what to be mindful of when it comes to other commute times in your Steer Clear traffic reports.
details from an event over the weekend dedicated to honoring first.
May lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
Ask about the power of 3 with Ozempic.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Happening today, former President Donald Trump plans to announce his stance on a critical issue when it comes to the 2024 presidential election.
In an announcement on Truth Social, Mr. Trump says he believes in exceptions for abortion when it comes to rape, incest, or protecting the life of the mother. That announcement coming after a Florida ruling that upheld that state's ban on abortions.
Whenever they didn't find Sebastian after the second, third day, it really hit my heart.
After 6 weeks of searching, the community gathering on Saturday over the weekend to pray that Sebastian Rogers, the 15-year-old, is found.
Family, friends, and everybody else helping to find Sebastian, meeting at a marina in Hendersonville, holding hands, wearing green ribbons, green being Sebastian's favorite color.
The 15-year-old with autism was reported missing the morning of February 25th and has really been the center of an Amber Alert ever since. His mother and stepfather, Katie and Chris Proudfoot, believe Sebastian walked off overnight from their home in the Shackle Island community. But after a month and a half of searching, there has been no trace of the 15-year-old. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office saying other leads, like a pair of eyeglasses found earlier last week, turned out not to be viable, not belonging to the 15-year-old. Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, has searched every day and says he will not stop until he finds his son.
My heart is out there somewhere. And with y'all's help, everybody keeping their eyes open, your heads up, we'll find my son. You guys are Sebastian's army. We will find him. We will find him alive. We will find him well. That is all it is. God willing. Because I will never stop.
The Sumner County Sheriff's Office and the TBI did relaunch their ground search, happening several days last week. As we covered that, they were recanvassing the area where Sebastian disappeared. That would be the Shackle Island community right near Beach High School. Officers, though, unfortunately say no specific leads, no evidence that prompted the efforts. They said they were just committed to making sure they left no stone unturned in trying to find him. Community volunteer searches continue regularly.
In your community, more than 125 first responders were recognized at the Metro Police Department's annual awards ceremony. The department also honoring those who responded to the active shooter call at the Covenant School in Green Hills back on March 27th of last year.
The work that the men and women do day in and day out is truly amazing. But when you look at the Covenant incident and how we responded, not just officers that went in, they were heroic, but the officer that was taking gunfire, the teachers who sheltered kids in place, Dr. Kuntz, who had the forethought to do active aggressive training. To do all that, it came together, and then to honor them for that is really truly special for us. I fought back tears when we did it.
Well, Chief Dre, who you heard from there, and Mayor Freddie O'Connell offered up their thanks. They gave out some awards, certificates, and then uniform ribbons to all of those officers involved.
5:18, if you're just now waking up with us, yes, it is Eclipse Day. A lot of folks are talking about this. It's the big story of the day. Oh, yeah. But is it going to be seen here?
Very interesting question, because I can't give you an affirmative yes or no, but I'll tell you that depending upon where you live, a few of us have a better chance of seeing it. It's going to be cloudy, and there will be a few showers that begin to develop early afternoon. It just is a race between 2 o'clock getting here before that rain really does start to pick up. So here's your path, all the way down from Texas all the way up to the New England states. Taking a look at about 2 hours worth of activity here from 1 o'clock all the way through about 3. Here we go. This is a lot of numbers on here, but the black line's what I just showed you, the main path. We are right here, which means we're more than 90% of the moon that's going to be covering up the sun here. I should say more than 90% of the sun being covered up by the moon. Taking a look, that's quite a bit. However, I mentioned it depends where you live. Hopkinsville, Clarksville, about 50–60% coverage when it comes to cloud cover. Clarksville on south and east. That's quite a bit of cloud cover. Not meaning you're not going to still get some of the effects of it, but you're not going to have the crystal clear blue sky to look at the eclipse. We've got some showers coming down right now. Murfreesboro out there, McMinnville, pushing toward Cookeville and Crossville, Monterey. You're seeing some rain as well. Lawrenceburg, not much happening downtown, but there are some pockets of some wet pavement, and we will definitely see a little fog creep in behind these showers as they attempt to move out of here. We'll look at future track hour by hour and show you how the more north and west we get, the more cloud cover we're going to see later today.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out and about to I-40 here at Fessler's Lane, just east of downtown. We are doing okay over there in that direction. This is where we had an earlier crash. It was tying up traffic here for several miles and across a couple of lanes. Thankfully, crews got there. They worked quickly and they were able to move that out of the way. So no more problems coming in from the east side this morning. Glad to see it. Now we're going to check in north of town here, 65 at Trinity Lane. Coming up here in just a few moments, we're going to tell you why this drive is not going to stay like this at all.
Alrighty,
Justin, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, 5:20 right now. Hey, you've probably been stopped at a red light anywhere in the area and a homeless person has been asking for money. And maybe you've given them some. Maybe your pocket change, $1 or snacks or a water bottle.
But now a proposed ban would make that illegal in the state of Louisiana. But what about here in Middle Tennessee? Trying to track this down too. We have Chris Rosado as explaining right here.
House Bill 97 by State Representative Dickson McMinnville, a freshman Republican, would make it illegal to give out cash to the homeless from your car.
It's illegal for the person to be out there. Now what we're doing is we're going to say the person that is offering that currency to them, we're going to hold them accountable as well.
He says although the intention comes from a good place, those handing out money are actually putting themselves and those around them at risk, not to mention holding up traffic.
Number one, it would cut down on the congestion in an intersection, and also number two, the person who is giving the money, let's try to keep them safe and let's the homeless people go through the proper channels of organizations here in the Baton Rouge area.
I do worry sometimes about the safety issues when people stop to give homeless people money. I worry about the homeless people as well.
He says for anyone saying the bill is heartless and uncaring, he would argue his reason for bringing it is quite the opposite.
I'll flip it on them and say I'm more concerned. I want less people out on the interstate highway systems. I want people not to be out there doing that. I want them to go seek the proper help, and that's where that bill, where the idea comes from.
You should be able to still give it if it's during the daytime or at night. I don't feel threatened. Usually when I give change, they tell me God bless me, and they're thankful for me giving some change.
As for how this would be enforced,
enforce it like you do any other law. You have the police, you have the sheriff's office involved, state troopers as well can do that, whatever it may be. And then hopefully you can self-enforce it, that people know that in Louisiana, it's illegal to now give to solicitors, and hopefully everyone just stop doing it.
To try and get all the perspectives around this idea, we popped our heads into several homeless camps to hear their thoughts, but no one seemed to want to comment. The camps we visited were located right next to some of the hot spots in McMinnville's district, like this one on College Drive. You can see how the grass no longer grows where beggars are constantly walking up and down with their signs. Recently, the city just spent several $1,000s on a barricade under the Segan overpass due to large groups of homeless folks camping out there and using drugs.
Coming up, a resolution to recognize
the Iroquois Steeplechase Fashion Show. Get your tickets today at bourbonbubblesfest.com. The Bourbon and Bubbles Fest by iHeartMedia, sponsored by Fox 17.
5:25 is the time lawmakers in the Tennessee House passed resolutions to honor all kinds of things. Earlier this year, for instance, they passed a resolution to honor hot slaw as one of the official state foods. Well, one lawmaker wanted to honor this. This is an example of a Tennessee rifle. According to the state lawmakers, it's very special because of the unique handle. This is an example of one here made in the 1800s. A lot of the handles were custom made, and a lot of the guns were even given names by their owner. But it's still a gun, and it wasn't long before it caused a gun debate there among state lawmakers.
I have 7 guns, and none of them have ever been violent. We never talk about knife violence. We had 4 people in Colorado, that were stabbed to death, and nobody talks about knife violence. Nobody talks about taking knives off the street and putting them back on the kitchen table where they belong.
We're celebrating a gun. It's a part of history. It belongs in a museum. Put it in a museum. Why do we have to continue to codify this and put this and make it the state gun? I feel like at this time in history, it's insensitive.
Well, the majority of lawmakers disagreed with that statement. They did pass that resolution and will now go on to the full House floor.
5:26, taking a look at what is new this morning, and that is thunderstorm activity overnight and even going into this morning. Still a few showers and storms that are out there. No severe weather, but definitely some pockets of heavier rainfall and a little bit of fog settling in as well. Scattered storms not just today, but also tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Pretty rainy week, about 2 to 4 inches of rain going to come down between now and the end of the week. All clear though when it comes to any more severe weather potential. There was a chance we could have seen a dicey storm or two overnight. That never came about. Now we are back to run-of-the-mill rain with a few booms of some thunder, but nothing too heavy coming down right now. And they are small little pockets. The majority of us not seeing a whole lot happening. It does move in pretty quickly as well. Murfreesboro, you're already kind of working out of that rain that you were in about an hour ago, and you'll get a couple more little pop-up showers in the backside of this. I do want to take my attention down to the south and the west a little bit though. Areas like Lawrenceburg, you're going to get about a 15-20 minute break, then one more batch of rain moves in, and that one will have a little more thunder and lightning with it, so keep that in mind. We'll keep looking at radar for you about every 10 minutes. New looks at future track every hour because today is Eclipse Day. What we can expect going into 2 o'clock when everything takes place this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get a good look here at I-65 at Trinity Lane, just north of downtown Nashville. You can see for yourself traffic up there moving along really nice. No big problems in either direction so far there this morning. We had an earlier crash east of town. It has now cleared up. Overall drive times were on the green. 29 minutes in from Mount Juliet, 51 minutes in from Murfreesboro, 27 minutes in from Hendersonville. Keep in mind some of those roads still pretty wet. Well, don't get star-crossed, as today is the big day. We've got the very latest on the eclipse as we are getting ready for the big event in the sky.
Care and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, country superstar Morgan Wallen arrested at a downtown bar. We're going to talk about the charges he is now facing. Greg.
Waking up with some rain on the radar, some fog settling in for a few of us. We're waking up, we've been talking about the eclipse day for months. It is here. I'm not promising you a perfect forecast. Stick around. Who has the best chance to see it later on this afternoon?
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Monday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right to our breaking news of this Monday morning. Country singer Morgan Wallen now facing 3 felony counts after being arrested in downtown Nashville early this morning.
And it happened in Eric Church's new bar. It's called Chiefs on Broadway, and that is where we find right now Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar. And Karen, you found out some more details early this morning. What are police saying happened here?
That's right. But first, I want you to imagine walking down this sidewalk here on Broadway when all of a sudden a chair comes crashing down behind you. Well, that's what police say happened last night. They are accusing Morgan Wallen of throwing that chair from the roof of this bar, Chiefs on Broadway. They say the chair came from 6 stories up. An affidavit we obtained says that it happened a little before 11. Police say officers were standing in front of the bar when they saw a chair come from above and hit the sidewalk, with the chair just 3 feet away from officers. Staff told officers it was in fact country star Morgan Wallen. After checking surveillance video, police say they confirmed it was him. Witnesses tell police he was laughing after he threw the chair. Officers arrested him on 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 charge of disorderly conduct. His team tells me he is fully cooperating with authorities, and they also tell me he's just been released hours ago. His next court date is scheduled for May 3rd at the Davidson County Courthouse. We also contacted Chiefs Bar here for comment and are waiting to hear back. Reporting live on Broadway, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. And you can always get more stories just like this delivered right to your inbox every single morning by signing up for our Fox 17 News daily newsletter. You can do that by heading here. It's our website. It's fox17.com.
And today is a day that we've been talking about for weeks now. The solar eclipse will be visible across the U.S. Now, the path of totality, where you can see the eclipse in its full glory. Yeah, not here in Tennessee like it was 7 years ago. But for spots in Kentucky, you'll be able to see it in totality.
The path spans over 10 states throughout the South, Midwest, and Northeast. And remember, we have said this so many times, so please, y'all, don't look at the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, wear the special glasses and keep your pets inside if possible. Here to share some more updates, though, is our Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus. All right, Greg, give it to us hot.
Yes, and we're not going to sugarcoat it. We're just going to say what's going to happen and then work our way through it. Taking a look here, today is eclipse day. It's at 2:03 is the official point where we'll have 95% totality, which is really close to, it's about as close as you can get to being completely covered. Taking a look here, though, mild mornings, you're going to notice that all week long. So the broad strokes are warm every hour of the day all week long. Scattered storms each day of the week. Monday all the way through Thursday. The next dry day is not until Friday. There's a lot of math to do here when it comes down to timing everything out hour by hour. Taking a look here, we're the timestamp of right around 2:05 when it gets to its peak for us. So I want to take a look at future track and fast forward it. We have some showers that are out there now. You're grabbing an umbrella, especially for south of I-40. Rain fairly prevalent here for many of us, and that will continue. We get to 2, 3 o'clock. There it is. Quite a bit of cloud cover and the possibility for a few showers out there. The more north and west we go into areas of southern Kentucky, the viewing going to be much better than it is, say, Nashville on down toward the south and east. Keep that in mind. I'm not guaranteeing you that you won't see it, but you're not going to have that bright blue, crystal clear sky to watch through. You're going to fight with some cloud cover and possibly even a shower or two.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Just picked up a new crash to tell you about happening here. I-24 at Haywood Lane. This is just east of downtown there. As you make your way in from the Antioch area, one lane blocked off because of a crash, and it is slowing things up for you. So heads up. Don't end up like that driver just did, trying to squeeze over at the last second. You see the flashing lights, lots of crews there. Move over so you can get into town safely there. You can also use Antioch Pike, Murfreesboro Pike as the best ways to steer clear there from the south and east side.
Justin, thank you. There is a new poll that we're getting some updates from this morning from Vanderbilt University showing 53% of Nashvillians, they think that they're worried about the explosion of growth. Still talking about this story.
So are we on the right track when it comes to developing Nashville? Well, this Vanderbilt poll that we first told you about last week shows 68% of people in Nashville think that our local economy is in good shape. And about 80% said that they like living in Music City, but 80% of the people questioned also overwhelmingly said Nashville is growing too quickly. So we put it out there to ask you what you think about it. Do you think Nashville is growing too quickly? And right now, 82% of you say yes. This is a live poll that we've got posted right now on our Fox Nashville Twitter account. You can go to twitter.com to find it or scan the QR code on your screen.
We're singing the birthday song this
Spring sale at Family Leisure. Huge savings on patio, pools, spas, and more.
Fox 17 News, Code Red Weather.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, 5:39 in your community. The St. James Missionary Baptist Church helping Alma Stinson celebrate her 100th birthday.
Alma was the star of the festivities over in North Nashville, where they expected several hundred well-wishers to be out there saying happy birthday, and there's a video there. Church pastor George Brooks is cousins with Miss Alma and says that she is truly a role model for the church and her entire community. Listen here.
She is the matriarch of the Brooks family, and she has several sisters who are also in their 90s. So it looks like longevity is a part of our genes.
I need the secret to that longevity.
Right, right. Alma is one of 3 other centenarians who are members of this church. Wow. Her actual birthday is in a few weeks, but Alma is a busy lady, we understand.
Yes, ma'am.
And this was just the best time that they could all find to come together to celebrate the big milestone.
She's got her pearls on.
She is ready to go. Love it.
Let's check in now for that Monday morning forecast. Some spots getting some showers overnight, Greg.
Yeah, some rain here, especially south of I-40 right now. It's nothing we can't handle, but it's definitely that inconvenient time in the morning when we're just trying to get everything going on a Monday, and you got rain and some fog to deal with. Temperature, though, very nice, upper 50s. 58 degrees. And this is not one of those mornings where we hosed down Broadway. We actually had a couple showers that did move through overnight a couple hours ago. Looking at the forecast out the door, though, your school day forecast. First bell, 61 degrees. After school, 74. There will be some cloud cover on and off. Keep that in mind. You're going to have pockets of it even during the eclipse. We get new looks at future track every hour. We'll have a brand new update for this afternoon coming up right around 6 o'clock.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning at 541, quick look outside. This is going to be I-24 Haywood Lane. You make that drive in from the Antioch area. We do have one lane that is blocked off because of a crash. That is the fire department there dealing with that. This crash may have some injuries involved, forcing everyone to move over. It's going to cost you at least an extra 10 minutes as you make that drive in from the Antioch, Smyrna, Laverne area. Now keep in mind, the longer this accident is here, the more of a tie-up it will cause, because there's going to be more and more traffic out there on the roads for you. So heads up as you make that drive in. You could try to take either Murfreesboro Pike, Antioch Pike. Those are going to be your best bets to steer clear of the backup.
Coming up, is Bo Duke driving fast cars again? Some of y'all are like, what? Okay, we're going to tell you what you might have caught, where you might have seen him when it comes to the Nashville Speedway.
I mean, after all, he's just a good old boy.
It lets you choose, discover, share. Your view, your stories, simplified. Check out what's really happening in Middle Tennessee with a Fox 17 News app.
Well, Congress is back in session today amid a threat to try to strip House Speaker Mike Johnson of his gavel.
Yeah, all of this came up about a week or so ago initially because of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Republican Georgia Representative Ms. Greene here authored a resolution to try to force the House to take a vote of no confidence in Speaker Mike Johnson. She railed at Johnson, really, for negotiating spending bills, claiming that he was in the Democrats' pockets, not giving members enough time to read legislation before voting. Other conservatives have criticized Republicans for caving on their principles to the Democrats.
Why the hell are you in Congress? That's why we're Article 1. But we're too chicken to use the power.
Political experts doubt Republicans want a repeat of last year. That's when the House lacked a speaker for 3 weeks. There's also concerns that more fighting could prompt additional Republican resignations, which could then flip control of the House to Democrats.
Well, back here closer to home, some of the strongest athletes in the country are in town doing some heavy lifting for a good cause.
The relentless Nashville powerlifting meet, bringing competitors to the Nashville Fairgrounds. Right here, look at the video. Some weightlifters benching more than 800 pounds. That's more than Jen can lift.
Just a little bit more.
Deadlifting more than 700 pounds. And get this, squatting more than 700 pounds as well. What? Well, the weightlifting event raises money for Hope Kids. That's a Middle Tennessee nonprofit helping families with a child dealing with life-threatening medical conditions.
We also pair them up with lifters, and so they establish a relationship with the competitors, get to know them, and they're here celebrating the day, and the lifters are lifting in honour of them and raising money in honour of the Hope Kid, and then the families get to meet the lifter and draw inspiration from each other. We've got some kids that I think are stronger than the lifters with what they have to deal with their life-threatening illness.
Oh, what a special event. And, you know, giving these power lifters even more motivation, you know. They raised more than $21.5 million over the last 12 years as they hold these events nationwide. But here in the Nashville area over the weekend, doing some really good stuff.
That is fantastic. Hey, 5:47 is the time. If you're waking up, maybe you're heading to the bus stop later this morning, are we going to need a raincoat, rain jacket, any of that stuff?
Grabbing it in case the entire week. Every day, you just grab it because there are going to be some showers and some storms periodically each day. So just having it on standby, probably the good idea to have here. And right now, there are a few areas that are still seeing some rain, but a few showers and thunderstorms overnight. That is still lingering here, mainly south of I-40 and then out toward the Cumberland Plateau. If you're in northwestern counties or areas like Clarksville, Hopkinsville, even Nashville, not a whole lot going to happen for the rest of this morning. It will be the afternoon when a few more pop-up showers do develop on the radar. But some areas of importance right now, we are seeing that rain exiting the Murfreesboro area, so getting a lot lighter. But then getting down toward the south and the west, a few more pockets trying to make their way in with some lightning here moving toward the Lawrenceburg area. I talked to you guys about 15 minutes ago and said, hey, you got about 15 minutes until it picks back up, and it has done so. You get out toward the Lewisburg area, right under one of those boomers too. You're going to hear it, but it's not going to be by any means severe weather or something that we have to worry about this morning. Just plan to leave a little early. Taking a look here. Total eclipse. This is 2:04, so right near our peak when it comes down to 95%. of a total lunar eclipse for us here, but taking a look, the cloud cover is going to be there. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that we're not going to see it by any means. Still give it a shot if it's part of your plan, but just know the more south and east we get away from Nashville, the more dense the cloud cover is going to be. And then we continue that active pattern for the next several days. 74 degrees later on this afternoon, right side of your screen. You are in the 50s to right near 60. And then we'll ride the wave of 60s and 70s all the way into the upcoming weekend. Our next dry day across the board for everyone is not until Friday.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic at I-24 Haywood Lanes. You make that drive in from the Antioch area. As you can see, police on the scene there with a fire truck. They forced everyone to move over, and this is causing some slight delays. Back behind it, let me show you where we are. I-24 Bell Road. As you make that drive in, this is about 2.5 to 3 miles behind where this crash is. So you can see traffic can get by, but just causing some slowdowns for sure. You can take Murfreesboro Pike or Antioch Pike as the best ways to steer clear. Drive time still under an hour coming in from Murfreesboro. We'll give you a fresh look at those drive times coming up in a few.
Right now in entertainment headlines, Antioch native Jelly Roll winning big at the CMT Music Awards last night over in Austin, Texas. The singer taking home several awards, including Music Video of the Year, Male Video of the Year, and the biggest win of the night, Performance of the Year. Tell you that it feels like when he's speaking, we're going to church.
I was thinking the same thing.
Praise.
So passionate. Hey, a four-way tie, by the way, for the most nominations for the CMTs. Going into last night, we had Cody Johnson, Jelly Roll, Kelsey Ballerini, and Megan Maroney all getting 3 nominations. Also, worth mentioning, Lainey Wilson. She took home Female Video of the Year for the 2nd year in a row. It was for Watermelon Sunshine. I was reading, too, she's the first woman to win in this category in back-to-back years since Carrie Underwood did it.
Oh, wow.
5 years in a
love
row.
Lainey Wilson.
Yep.
All right, bringing it back closer to home, want you to take a look at this story that's making some headlines. Dukes of Hazzard star John Schneider back at the Speedway, this time in Nashville. So look at the video.
I mean, he knows how to get in and out of a car, doesn't he? He was jumping into the General Lee Dodge Charger, of course, during the shows, but the Grand Marshal for the opening night at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway action. Schneider, recently finalist on the show Masked Singer, which you can watch right here on Fox. He has a new album out. Yep, he's a singer, and he even sang the national anthem at the race. But of course, best known for his role as Bo Duke on the Dukes of Hazzard.
Well, coming up, there is a new study showing more older adults are drinking heavily. We're going to explain why health experts say that's not necessarily a bad idea.
And the earthquake that shook the Northeast. One of the strongest.
A Tucson compares to a Tucson. Get 3.79% APR for 60 months or get $1,250 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Good morning. Right now we're showing you a live look of the Nashville skyline, and some of y'all may be waking up to showers. Greg says it's a good idea to have that raincoat and your umbrella just handy throughout the rest of the week up until about Friday. We're going to talk about the total solar eclipse. That, of course, is the big story of the day. We're talking about how you can watch our Facebook page later today. Our chief meteorologist, Katie Morgan, is going to be sharing some updates, and she's traveling for the total solar eclipse.
All righty. Experts say alcohol use is increasing among retirees and older adults. For people who are 65 and older, that could mean a greater risk for major health issues.
One specialist says the percentage of older adults who drink every month is increasing, especially, they say, among women. And for baby boomers, the number of people who binge drink, develop, alcohol use disorder, and die from alcohol is also reportedly on the rise.
One ticket in Oregon matched all of Saturday's Powerball numbers. You might have been driving around yesterday like we were, looking at the big lottery billboards, and I instantly knew when I saw that number go back down to 20 million. I said, somebody won it. Yep, the jackpot had climbed to $1.3 billion, and that's not even the biggest jackpot in lottery history. The drawing initially delayed, interestingly enough, after one jurisdiction had technical difficulties. So in addition to that one winning Powerball ticket sold in Oregon, there were several other $1 million winners. The next drawing is tonight with an estimated jackpot of, as I mentioned, $20 million.
Nice. We're going to check in now with Greg. And Greg, I was saying earlier that we might not necessarily get a good view of the total solar eclipse.
Not for everyone. There are going to be some areas that are a little bit better than others. The more north and west we get, the more breaks in the cloud cover we're going to see for this one. There will be a few isolated showers and storms afternoon toward the evening. 74 degrees for the high temperature. And the right side of your screen, we have current temperatures that are still in the 50s to right near 60. So warm from start to finish, but fairly cloudy. That peak time of 2:03 this afternoon. We're going to have cloud cover and a few showers that do pop up on the radar. That rain, very hit and miss. The cloud cover, though, will be pretty substantial for a few of us, especially well to the south and east of Nashville. Weekend looks fantastic. 77 degrees for Saturday, 78 on Sunday. We get rain somewhere on the radar across Middle Tennessee every day. Today, straight through Thursday. Friday is our next chance to see a completely dry day for everyone.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. We were watching a crash at I-24 Haywood Lane. That crash is now cleared up. So no more big problems coming in from the Antioch area. Time should really ease up as a result of that crash being gone now. We're going to take a look at your latest drive times coming up at our 6 o'clock hour.
Justin, thank you. 5:57 Consumer News here this morning. Some scary moments aboard another airplane. This time a Southwest jet. This one left Denver going to Houston and had to make an emergency landing back in Denver after an engine cover fell off during takeoff.
Ooh, take a look at the video. The cover hitting part of the plane's wing, which is what you're looking at. FlightAware says the plane returned safely, though, to Denver about 35 minutes after taking off, and no one was hurt. But the Federal Aviation Administration is now investigating. It's pretty scary.
It sure is. Hey, according to information from the U.S. Geological Survey, Friday's earthquake in the Northeast up in Jersey was the third largest to rock the Northeast in the last 30 years.
Well, all right. The largest was a magnitude 5.3 tremor centered in Sable Forks. That's back in New York. It was back in 2002, I should say. The only other quake in New England above magnitude 5 was back in 1983 near Newcomb, New York. The fourth largest on record and the most recent, not counting Friday's though, was in 2012. That is when a 4.8 earthquake shook Hollis Center, Maine. Geophysicists say there's a reason East Coast earthquakes are so rare. Listen.
To generate the earthquake will require a strain to accumulate, forces to have to build up that will be released during the earthquake. And these forces are very small along the East Coast.
The earthquake felt in at least 14 states along the East Coast. No injuries reported. And listen, I know y'all might be waking up this morning like Erica and I were, wondering, man, what's going on with the earthquakes? Remember the one in Taiwan, the volcanic eruptions, we got the eclipse. What's going on in the world? Well, we're all here to tell you we're going to get through today, even as crazy as it might feel. But we've got you covered. And by the way, that whole topic of conversation is a trending story right now. So many people may be feeling a little uneasy about today, right? But that's all right. We are going to get you through it. We are live and local through 9 a.m. Our 6 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, country star Morgan Wallen facing 3 felony charges. We're going to have some more details on his overnight arrest in downtown Nashville.
Only expecting to see a partial solar eclipse here in the mid-state and most of southern Kentucky, but will we be able to see it at all? That's the big question of this Monday morning. We'll check in with Greg here to find out.
That really is the big question here because we do have some showers and some storms that rolled through overnight. Still some rain on the radar. Now, if that lingers long enough, we could be in a situation that makes it difficult to see. We'll look at future track for you.
Okay, do you have your eclipse glasses ready to go? Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Monday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be here for you through 9 a.m. Big story this morning in case you are just now waking up and joining us. Country superstar Morgan Wallen arrested early this morning in downtown Nashville, facing 3 felony counts now. All of this happened right outside of Eric Church's brand new bar on Broadway. It's called Chiefs. And that's where it all went down.
Yeah, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is breaking down what police say happened, and here you go.
This affidavit says Morgan Wallen was arrested a little before 11 last night behind me here at Chief's Bar on Broadway. And right here, 6 stories up, he is accused of throwing a chair over the roof. Police say officers were standing in front of the bar when they saw a chair come from above and hit the sidewalk, with the chair just 3 feet away from officers. Staff told officers it was country star Morgan Wallen. After checking surveillance video, police say they confirmed it was him. Witnesses tell police he was laughing after he threw the chair. Officers arrested him on 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 charge of disorderly conduct. His team tells me he is fully cooperating with authorities. I've reached out to Chief's Bar for comment and also to see if we can get access to that surveillance video. We are still waiting to hear back. Reporting on Broadway, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Right now in Operation Crime and Justice, a man killed in Nashville after a man was seriously hurt while riding jailed, I should say, in Nashville after a man was seriously hurt while riding a Lime scooter. Very popular.
All right, so we understand that the victim in this case is named Leonard John Patrick Roker. He's at Vanderbilt University Medical Center right now. He does have life-threatening injuries. Witnesses told police that a truck came up from behind the scooter at a high rate of speed, hit that Lime scooter, then crashed into a pole. Well, the driver of that truck, identified this morning by police, the name Randolph Ford. He is being charged with vehicular assault and reckless endangerment. We understand Ford's blood is being tested right now to find out whether he had been under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So again, the victim on that Lime scooter in a very serious condition in the hospital. Ford facing charges. We'll let you know just as soon as we get any more updates.
Well, folks across the country are really gearing up for the solar eclipse that's happening today in just a couple of hours. And we're mapping it all out for you, letting you know that this celestial showdown is going to happen through Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. Yeah, 99% of people in the U.S. are going to be able to see at least part of the eclipse. Really just depends where you are. And if you can catch this year's total solar eclipse, well, you're just going to have to wait 20 years for the next one in different parts of the country. And we do also want to let you know that Fox 17 News, we are bringing you a special 30-minute solar eclipse special. It's going to happen today from 1:45 to 2:15 over on fox17.com. That's what our chief meteorologist, Katie Morgan, is going to be in Illinois in the path of totality. She's going to be sharing some interesting solar science eclipse updates. But that's not all. You can also see total coverage of the eclipse from Texas to the Northeast. That's going to begin at noon and continue until 3. Also over on our website, fox17.com.
6:04 is our time to take a look at your Code Red forecast and attempting to see where the areas of least cloud cover are going to be when that eclipse does peak at 2:03 later this afternoon. So viewing conditions, that's one of the biggest questions here this morning. Very mild. You're in the 50s to right near 60 degrees. Scattered storms all week. Get used to it. Have the umbrella ready to go every day. As you're heading out the door, you'll need it at some point across Middle Tennessee during the day. Taking a look, here is that path of totality we just showed you. We're not quite in the zone, but we're really close to it. We're in that 90+% of the sun that will be covered by the moon later today. What are the odds of seeing it? Well, depends where you live. The more north and west we are, the lower the percentage of cloud cover we're going to have is. That's good. Areas like Clarksville, Hopkinsville, a much better chance to see this in a much more clear picture. Nashville onto the south and east, the cloud cover will be more dense going into the afternoon. Keep that in mind. Maybe even a pop-up shower or two on the radar during the time of totality as well.
Stay clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you out and about if we can this morning. Apologies, we've been having some technical difficulties over here. We can tell you there was a crash over at least at I-24 near Haywood Lane out there in the Antioch area. Thankfully, that crash has now cleared up. We'll get you the very latest with other things happening around town coming up here in the next few minutes. We'll get our technical difficulty straightened out with Stay Clear traffic. There's a look here at I-40 at Church Street. Looking pretty good over there on the West Loop. We'll continue to follow things coming up here in the next few minutes.
Justin, thank you. 6:05 right now. The Salem town community of Nashville coming together 1 week to the day after that Easter Sunday shooting that left 1 person dead and 6 others hurt.
Roasted owner and head chef Erica Pfizer spoke outside of a restaurant at a vigil last night. Erica is known as Chef E to so many who frequent this neighborhood spot over in Salem town. Erica, though, was also one of the 6 victims shot. But perhaps the family most impacted, of course, Alan Beecham, who did not survive.
The family of Alan Beecham and our victims. I am praying for you and with you.
Now, the suspect in the shooting, Anton Rucker, arrested in Kentucky last week, now charged here in Nashville with homicide and is waiting to be transferred to Nashville.
After the break, a resolution to recognize the Tennessee rifle as the historic rifle of the state of Tennessee.
For your life. Visit 3dayblinds.com to get started.
.609 is the time. Tennessee lawmakers in their House of Representatives, they pass resolutions all the time to honor all kinds of things. They honor hot slaw, for example. They did that a little bit earlier this year. Well, one lawmaker wanted to honor this right back here. It's the barrel of a Tennessee rifle. Now, according to the lawmakers, it's a very special rifle because of the unique handle that a lot of Tennessee rifles oftentimes had. They were custom made, but it's still a gun. And it wasn't long before a debate about whether or not to honor such a gun turned into a full-fledged gun debate.
Evil people use guns, but it's up to good people to stand up. A gun is a tool, and it depends who wields that tool, how it is used. And so this was one, again, that allowed for the establishment of our state.
I wish we would rethink about just the optics of how this looks, but I understand this is a part of history, and I believe that it belongs in a museum, but I just do not believe we should make it the state gun. I don't think, or any gun for that matter.
Well, this did pass the committee and will go on to the full House floor. Another news this morning for your community. 8 people now have keys to their own home. That's thanks to Habitat for Humanity and the Nashville community at large. Now, yesterday's dedication happened in North Nashville at the Village by the Creek neighborhood. That area has 58 single-family homes built by Habitat for Humanity and their greater Nashville area. Now, homeowners invested 12 months of sweat equity into their house, along with education of being a good homeowner and helping to build their home, and coupling their own money with donations throughout the organization to make it all possible.
Getting finances in order, making sure that I am, just in alignment with what I need to be doing, holding myself accountable, telling my money where it needs to go to finally become a homeowner.
All of a sudden having something that can be passed down to their children for generations, the equity built up for home ownership, the stability provided, which allows children to go to the same school year after year.
In addition to the home dedication, Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell came by to help to name 2 streets after prominent local African-American leaders. Dr. Carolyn Baldwin Tucker was the very first African-American woman on Davidson County's Metro Council at large seat. She did that back in 1999. She also spent 50 years working in education for Metro schools. And then the late Chester Hughes served on the Metro Council back in 2003 and was instrumental in bringing big retailers to the area and keeping utility wires underground for the sake of neighborhood beautification.
Coming up in your forecast, it is Eclipse Day. What you can expect to see right around 2 o'clock this afternoon when we'll be at 95% totality of that solar eclipse.
And the search, steer clear traffic. We are searching for the best route for you to get to work this morning. As you can see, traffic moving along a little slower there on I-24. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear in a few. Plus, a Mid-State community is looking for Sebastian Rogers. That search now goes into weeks.
% interest for 5 years. Shop now, spend less, and get more. Only at Ashley.
His Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC of Nashville.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 6:14. We're glad to have you here, giving you a live look right now from Cleveland, Ohio. This is a city that will be in the path of totality today for the total solar eclipse. Will they be able to see it though? Could they get some of the same, cloudy, rainy conditions as us? Well, we'll see. I'll tell you, if you wanted to get to Cleveland right now, you might be able to make it in time, but that's if there's no traffic. It's about 7.5 hours. You'd have to really book it to get there on time.
But maybe if you don't have time to drive there, maybe you want to go get a solar eclipse tattoo.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, is this what we're doing now?
Yeah, the total solar eclipse being touted as a, once in a lifetime event for some. And there is one business in Ohio that is hoping visitors will make it a permanent memory.
All right.
Inspired Studios in downtown Lorain is buzzing.
It's going to be good for our city for sure. All the businesses down here, I think, are all trying to do something.
Rachel Grasso and her staff,
We're just sky lovers here. We love the sky.
have been preparing to welcome a total solar eclipse the best way they know how.
Because you're never going to forget it once you come here.
The shop is offering permanent reminders.
50 years from now, like being in a nursing home, someone changing you, and they're like, well, what's that tattoo mean? And you're like, oh, back in 2024, the great eclipse.
At a discounted price during an eclipse flash sale.
I think it's because it is the eclipse. It hasn't happened in so long, and it's such a big thing for our city.
Myra Kovacs is getting one to mark the occasion.
The moon and like the little stars around it, it's just very basic but so pretty.
It's her first tattoo in years.
I mean, I gave birth. I mean, this should be nothing, right?
Others are finding space for some fresh ink.
She didn't even know what she was gonna get. I just picked this one for her. Just do whatever you want.
The tattoos designed by the shop's artist.
This is like so perfect for the eclipse because it's like so you, but it's still part of our flash sale.
Are just one way the community is celebrating the celestial event.
It's just so crazy to think that there's just been all these, like a year basically of chaos for 4 minutes.
Grasso tells us the eclipse has united the community like nothing she's seen.
It's something positive that we all can experience together as one human race.
She says the extra business it could bring is just a bonus.
A lot of us just wanted to be a part of the event, and I don't think a lot of us thought about how much revenue it would bring downtown.
So now Jen says she wants to go get a tattoo later today, correct?
We're getting matching ones.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you in, Greg?
No.
Okay.
Greg, can we talk for just a moment about something that it's been a little confusing to me and I think for other people as well. All this talk about how often does an eclipse happen?
Okay.
All right, eclipses in general, solar eclipses happen every few years.
Yeah.
We witnessed one right here in the mid-state 7 years ago. We had all the eclipse parties. I was out for coverage in Gallatin, which was in the path of totality 7 years ago. What you're talking about, Greg, though, too, is the odds of it happening where you are in totality.
Yeah, so put just one spot on the map. Let's just use Nashville reference point. It's early to make it easy. Nashville, to be in totality, happens about every 350 to 400 years. Now, we're going to see it at 95%. We're close, but to be at that 100%, it only happens in the exact same location roughly every 350 years.
Okay, and so it'll be another 20 years or so before we have another total solar eclipse.
Somewhere in the U.S.
Somewhere in the U.S.
Exactly. And then it'll be how far away are we from it?
Sure.
What's the percentage? All of that. But to have the 100% in the same spot about every 350 years.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Taking a look here. What is new this morning? Well, we had some showers and storms overnight and still some rain on the radar right now. Scattered storms will continue tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. No severe weather is expected. That's good. Problem is, though, we're going to get about 2 to 4 inches worth of rain in 4 days. So by the end of the week, we're going to have some ponding and some very, very tall grass in our lawns because there's not much time to actually really get out there and mow it here in the next couple of days just because of how much rain will be on and off. We're still seeing those showers making their way through. Now, that thunderstorm in the Lewisburg area, Lawrenceburg, up to Columbia, basically if you're south of I-40, you're definitely grabbing an umbrella this morning. The afternoon, a few more scattered rain showers. Do not get caught off guard by that rain this morning. We'll talk much more about the eclipse viewing time and potential coming up in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you to I-40 at Donaldson Pike out near the airport. We're doing okay out there so far this morning. No big slowdowns in either direction, at least not yet. Things will change coming up here a little bit later, but keep in mind the patterns of the day may be a little different. A lot of parents may be keeping their children at home today because of the solar eclipse. We know that's an option out in Wilson County. If you're making a drive in from Rutherford County, this is 24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. Coming through the Antioch area, things are looking nice for now. Keep in mind, Rutherford County schools are out for the day, so there may be traffic that's a little different in Rutherford County.
Whenever they didn't find Sebastian after the second, third day, it really hit my heart.
After 6 weeks worth of searching, the community gathered again over the weekend in Hendersonville to not only look for Sebastian Rogers, but pray that he is found safely. Family, friends, and different search groups that have come here from around the country meeting over at a marina in Hendersonville.
Yeah, holding hands and wearing green ribbons. That is Sebastian's favorite color. The 15-year-old, who does have autism, was reported missing the morning of February 25th and has been the center of an Amber Alert ever since. His mother and stepfather, Katie and Chris Proudfoot, they believe Sebastian Rogers walked off overnight from their Shackle Island community home. But after a month and a half of searching, there has still been no trace of Sebastian. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office says other leads, including a pair of eyeglasses that we talked about last week, well, that turned out not to be belonging to the 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. His father, though, his biological father, Seth Rogers, has searched, he says, every day and says he's not going to stop until he tracks down his son.
My heart is out there somewhere. And with y'all's help, everybody keeping their eyes open, your heads up, we'll find my son. You guys are Sebastian's army. We will find him. We will find him alive. We will find him well. That is all it is. God willing. Because I will never stop.
If you were with us last week, you will know that we covered the relaunching of the search on the part of authorities. We had the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and the TBI both searching for several days last week. They were re-canvassing the area of Shackle Island where Sebastian disappeared. Officials say they didn't have any specific leads or evidence prompting that effort, but they say they are just committed to leaving no stone unturned in their efforts to find him. You can count on Fox 17 News to continue to follow this story as it develops.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are just...
And a live look right now from Niagara Falls.
Wow.
Beautiful, gorgeous start to the morning there, where...
Simplified. Check out what's really happening in Middle Tennessee with a Fox 17 News app.
Eight is not 8. 6:24. How about that? 6:24 is the time. Kentucky's men's basketball coach John Calipari is set to take the job at Arkansas. It's a major shakeup in the college basketball world.
Sure is. Calipari had been the head coach at Kentucky since 2009. Led the team to national championship in 2012. ESPN says he is finalizing a deal with the Arkansas Razorbacks, expected to be finalized sometime today.
We will hear a lot more about this throughout the day, I assure you. Well, let's talk hockey. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's just a couple of weeks away, and the Nashville Predators doing everything they can to punch that ticket into the Stanley Cup playoffs here.
We've been talking a lot about this wild card positioning for the Preds. So kind of tough. They lost Saturday night to the Islanders.
And that will get us, I believe now, to overtime. That's where the shootout will take place. And here we go. That's Ryan O'Reilly going to the net. Can't catch him. Score it. Preds win 3-2. As I think UC Soros is going to seal the deal with a stop right there. And that will do it.
That's it.
From New Jersey.
All right, let's get a look at our forecast right now. I know so many of you have kids who are going to be in school for the eclipse today. Several school districts are giving kids special glasses so that they can go out and look at it. Other schools are going to keep kids inside and not on the buses so that they can watch a live stream of the event. Nonetheless, you'll want to know how things are shaping up for the bus stop this morning and then for that ride home today. 61 degrees at the first bell this morning, and then after school, look at that, a nice warm up. 74 degrees by the time the kids get out of school this afternoon. Now, Greg was saying you'll want to keep a rain jacket with you kind of on standby the whole week. We've got a lot of rain chances starting today going through the rest of your work week. We'll join Greg again in just a few minutes for a deeper look at your forecast.
6 6:27. Let's get to your steer clear traffic at I-40 at Spence Lane. This is just east of downtown. Traffic there moving along really nicely this morning. You see a lot of headlights on still, some cloud cover out there, but nothing that's going to hold you up in a significant way is taking place out there this morning so far. We'll get your latest drive times. Tell you what, let's just do it now. 64 minutes coming in from Murfreesboro, 29 minutes in from Mount Juliet, just under an hour coming in from Clarksville.
Tornadoes ripping through the mid-state 18 years ago, marking that over the weekend. We're going to take a look back at the destruction that we've since rebuilt from.
And now,
get the Fox 17 News app now. Instant alerts the second news breaks. Watch Fox 17 News anywhere. Download the Fox 17 News app now. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
6:30 is the time. Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning. Country singer Morgan Wallen arrested in Nashville overnight. We're talking about the charges that he is now facing.
2 inmates who walked away from a mid-state jail now back behind bars. We'll tell you how this all came to an end.
And today is the day. The solar eclipse, taking a live look in Nashville, talking about if the weather is going to cooperate. What's it looking like? Is there showers and cloud coverage? We're going to have that full forecast for you.
Thanks so much for starting your Monday with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get to our big breaking news story this Monday morning, letting you know what's happening overnight over on Lower Broadway involving country singer Morgan Wallen, who is now facing 3 felony charges.
Arrested in downtown Nashville early this morning just outside of Chiefs. That's the new Eric Church Bar on Broadway. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar breaking down what police say happened.
I want you to imagine walking on this sidewalk on Broadway and then all of a sudden a chair comes crashing down behind you. Well, that's what police say happened last night. They're accusing country singer Morgan Wallen of doing just that, throwing that chair from 6 stories up here at Chiefs on Broadway over the roof. A police report says it happened a little before 11. Police say officers were standing in front of the bar when they saw a chair come from above and hit the sidewalk, with the chair just 3 feet away from officers. Staff told officers it was country star Morgan Wallen, and after checking surveillance video, police say they confirmed it was him. Witnesses tell police he was laughing after he threw the chair. Officers arrested him on 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 charge of disorderly conduct. His team tells me he's fully cooperating with authorities. His next court date is scheduled for May the 3rd at the Davidson County Courthouse. We also reached out to Chiefs Bar behind me and are waiting to hear back. Reporting on Broadway, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Also developing this Monday morning, Metro Police responding to a shooting early Sunday afternoon over in Antioch. We're mapping it out for you. Police say a 25-year-old man and a 24-year-old woman were shot and then taken to Vanderbilt's Medical Center.
Yeah, we understand, according to Metro Police, that they have not released the names or what led up to the shooting. But as we learn those details, we'll update you live, both on air and online at fox17.com.
We're also taking a moment to go ahead and remember some weather history here in Middle Tennessee. 18 years ago, Sunday, 9 tornadoes tore through parts of the mid-state, ultimately claiming 7 lives over in Gallatin. The EF3 tornado touched down in Sumner County, so we're showing you some video from back that day.
We had 128 people also hurt. The wind blamed for bringing baseball-sized hail to Ashland City and several other areas. The National Weather Service in Nashville received a medal for their life-saving services during that tornado. I remember when we moved here it'll be almost 11 years ago, Greg, and we moved to Hendersonville, and folks were telling the stories, recounting what it was like.
So scary.
Living in Hendersonville at that time. There was, interestingly enough, too, you remember that show, Extreme Makeover Home Edition?
Yes. Yeah.
There was a family in Hendersonville whose home got leveled here, and we're looking at some of the video. The mom saved her children by covering them with her body, and she ended up with life-changing injuries as a result. And Extreme Makeover Home Edition came into Hendersonville and built a new house for their family. After the mom saved her kids in that tornado.
That's the kind of Karen that we do a lot around here. We have events that roll through like that. It happens like that, and then the cleanup sometimes in some cases, you're forever changed by it. Nothing like that for us this morning. We've had some rain. We had a couple of storms overnight into this morning, and we're going to continue with this rain on and off through at least about 10 o'clock this morning. Keep that in mind, especially if you're south of I-40. It's been very consistent. It's been tracking in the exact same spot, kind of band after band. It's not really moved all that much since 4 o'clock, but Columbia, you had a little bit of a break. You'll move right back into it here. Give it about another half hour, and that rain will pick back up. At places like Hohenwald, Lawrenceburg, you get out toward Lewisburg. I've been saying your names the whole morning because these showers have just been a little relentless here in terms of all of it trending. Got one area I'm watching with a little bit more lightning and thunder, the Shelbyville area out toward Manchester and Tullahoma. These are also areas that will be a little bit cloudier later on this afternoon. What does that mean? Well, for the eclipse right around 2 o'clock, the more south and east we go away from Nashville. So think about areas like McMinnville, Tullahoma. The cloud cover will be thicker. Very mild mornings ahead of us, though. We're starting off in the 50s. We'll be in the 70s later on this afternoon. Scattered storms today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Coming up in the next check of your forecast, we will look at future track, pinpoint 2 o'clock this afternoon, and see who has the best chance to see that eclipse. 95% coverage at 2 o'clock.
Steer clear traffic out there for you. Let's get to I-65 and I-24 there on the north side. First look at this camera we've had this morning, and surprisingly, it's light. Normally, this is pretty backed up here with wall-to-wall traffic. Not right now, though. We're doing really, really well. That's a great sign for those of you coming down from Hendersonville, Goodlettsville, Millersville. Nice drive for everybody involved. Not here. 24 at Old Hickory Boulevard, making that drive in from Antioch. Drive time still over an hour coming in right now. You could try to use Murfreesboro Road to cut down on some of that drive time, but it, too, has got its own problems with traffic lights and school zones and those fast food restaurants. And yes, I mentioned those because they too can cause a bit of a backup and a distraction.
Justin, thank you. We have an update this morning now from Lincoln County, where the Sheriff's Department tells us 2 escaped inmates are now back behind bars.
Walter Allen Sr. and Christopher Meeks walked off from the Lincoln County Jail Saturday, but the 2 men in the photographs right here on your screen are back in custody. That happened Sunday. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Department says that the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department and Fayetteville Police Department, they were all part of the Tennessee Highway Patrol helping to make these arrests possible.
6:36 is the time. Right now, good morning to you on this Monday. It is April 8th. Former President Donald Trump set to make an announcement today. We'll tell you how it could impact the upcoming election.
And a whole lot of folks that headed over to Columbia over the matters most.
Your family.
U.S. Best.
Cancer curing, drug shortages.
Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
Coming up on 6.
Good morning, 6:39 right now. Thanks for joining us for Fox 17 News. Happening today, former President Trump plans to announce his stance on a critical issue for this presidential election.
Now, Mr. Trump is talking about an announcement. He first mentioned this on his Truth Social page. Mr. Trump believes, or says he believes, in exemptions of abortions for rape, incest, and for the life of the mother. Now, the announcement comes after a Florida ruling that upheld the state's ban on abortion after 15 weeks.
All right, so we know you're paying attention to this. We'll be watching it closely for you throughout the day as well. Right now, bringing it back here closer to home, we had thousands of people travel to the town of Columbia over the weekend for the 50th annual Mule Day Parade. And yes, it does involve mules. It's been popular since the 1840s, when it first served as one day to have a mule and livestock market.
Well, now the city of Columbia really does get involved with this, and they do a full weekend event that will highlight, with the highlight being Mule Day itself with the big parade that happened on Saturday. Visitors also enjoyed a little square dancing along with crafts and a mule driving contest. What? Okay, along with traditional Appalachian food and music. A good time looks to have been had by all who came out to the 50th annual Mule Day down there in Murray County.
I love the way they honor their roots there. And they had gorgeous weather for it, Greg. Just
Sure
a beautiful weekend. Things are changing, though, as we get into this new work week.
Unfortunately, yes. If we could have just taken yesterday and bottled it up and then just used that as today when it comes to potential for seeing the eclipse, it would have been a much better scenario. Take a look at what we're dealing with here on Future Track. A couple of showers are still out there right now, and even a few rumbles of thunder south of I-40 primarily, and those will continue on and off for the next couple of hours. We'll keep looking at radar, but they've really not moved all that much. They're all kind of tracking in the exact same way, and that will continue through 10, 11, 12. We go to 1, 2, 3, and then 4 o'clock right in the middle of the day. We're going to see some cloud cover pickup and a few more isolated rain showers pop up on the radar, meaning viewing of the eclipse, especially in the areas down to the south and east of Nashville, it's going to be a little bit harder to do. The peak time is at 2:03 this afternoon. Percentage of cloud cover, you want this number to be as low as possible. So areas like Clarksville, Hopkinsville, where you have about 30 to 50% cloud cover, the more south and east we go, the more clouds we'll have. Doesn't mean you won't see it necessarily, but it'll be a little bit tougher to see it poking through the clouds.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to I-24 Waldron Road out there in the Laverne area. Rutherford County, good morning to all of you. Keep in mind things a little different there in Rutherford County because school is out. They've allowed school to be out for today for the eclipse. So that will change the traffic pattern out there in Rutherford County this morning. It's not like that everywhere. Just in Rutherford County in particular, though, I know school is out for the day, so the school zone's not active today across that particular area. The drive time's still looking really decent out there. We're still over an hour making your way again from Murfreesboro into downtown Nashville. We'll tell you how things change as the morning goes on.
6:42, in case you missed it over the weekend, the U.S. Says that we're prepared for any possible attacks from Iran. We'll tell you more about the message out of D.C. right now.
And a big award for Jelly Roll as he takes home the...
Tonight at 7 on Fox 17.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:45 is your time. The U.S. Says that we are ready to defend against Iran if they were to launch an attack. Now, that is the latest message this morning out of Washington. U.S. officials, in case you missed it over the weekend, predict a significant Iranian attack on either American or Israeli assets in the Middle East, perhaps this week.
The potential danger comes after an Israeli strike on an Iranian consulate in Syria last week. The Biden administration says if Iran attacks Israel directly, it almost guarantees a regional conflict.
Congress back in session today and a threat to try to strip House Speaker Mike Johnson of his gavel.
Well, Republican Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene authorized a resolution to force the House to take a vote of no confidence because of Speaker Mike Johnson. Greene railed at Johnson for negotiating spending bills with Democrats and not giving members enough time to read legislation before voting. Other conservatives, though, criticized Republicans for caving on their principles.
Why the hell are you in Congress? That's why we're Article 1. But we're too chicken to use the power.
And now, some political experts who are watching this closely say they don't think Republicans really want a repeat of last year when the House, remember, didn't even have a speaker for about 3 weeks. So most experts say that they're going to find a way to find common ground on this. And also, another big issue here is if there's more infighting and it prompted more Republicans to resign, that could most certainly have an impact on control of the House and the Democrats then taking over. So we'll keep an eye on this for you. We'll let you know whether they get any traction on trying to oust Mike Johnson, both on air and online at fox17.com.
Right now, though, let's talk about sports. In case you missed it, undefeated South Carolina Gamecocks taking on superstar Caitlin Clark and her whole team in the Iowa Hawkeyes in yesterday's title game. Now, these two met last year in the Final Four. That's when Iowa knocked off South Carolina before moving on to the 2023 title game, but that was not the case on Sunday. Clark breaking several NCAA records this season and not slowing down in her final game. Caitlin Clark would finish the game 30 points high, but it still was not enough to overcome the Gamecocks. Now, I am a South Carolina native, so I was rooting for the Gamecocks on Sunday. Not my normal team that I'm rooting for. South Carolina, though, winning its third national championship in 7 seasons with the 87-75 win over Iowa.
And the madness will end tonight for the men when top-seeded Purdue and UConn go head-to-head for the national championship. You can see right here on your screen, the Boilermakers looking for their first ever national title, while UConn, well, the Huskies are a powerhouse, the defending champs, so they've been there, done that. 8:20 kickoff for that matchup tonight.
My bracket definitely did not predict that. Okay, so we're checking in now at 6:48 with our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobas. Happy Monday, sir.
Happy Monday. Yeah, trying the best we can to kind of figure out the clouds and what that's going to mean for us for the eclipse later on today. I'll tell you right now, though, most of the area is going to have cloud cover. It's just how dense it is at the exact moment when that eclipse happens that will really tell the entire story. Right now, we still have some showers out there, and these have not really moved at all. If I'm saying your name, you've heard it. If you've been watching, McMinnville, Tullahoma, Lawrenceburg, Lewisburg, Columbia, all these areas still seeing some rain, a little more widespread, but also a lot lighter, getting up to the Cumberland Plateau. Can't really put a track on it because it's not moved. It's just kind of sitting where it's at and kind of trailing with it here from west to east. Taking a look, the circled area, the one area seeing the most lightning right now, and these three little cells haven't really moved since the last time we touched base about 5 minutes ago, but they're still out there. You want the umbrella every day this week. Here's the path of totality for that eclipse. It's going to go all the way from Texas all the way up into Canada, and close enough to home for us here to have more than 90% coverage of the sun by the moon. Unfortunately, we are not going to be sunny by any means here. You'll get some breaks in the cloud cover, but that's pretty much it. These showers continue through noon. We get a little break, a little heating of the day, and then 5 p.m. going into the evening and nighttime hours, a few more showers and thunderstorms. One or two of those could even give us a little small size hail, and temperatures will be in the 70s. So if you want to view the eclipse, you have the glasses, you're ready to go. Still give it a shot. Just know that you might have a couple of showers out there, and it might not be very easy to see in your specific hometown, just based upon the weather pattern we have gotten stuck in. And what I mean by stuck in it, take a look at your screen. 70s today, 68 degrees. Your temperature tomorrow, 72 on Wednesday, 67 on Thursday. All 4 of those days, showers and storms will be on the radar at periods during the day and during the night times as well.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Monday's main event is an eclipse sweeping the country, but this celestial image posted during the weekend is of a magnificent view of the Milky Way rising over Pawleys Island, South Carolina. After a recent storm in the Providence area, a snapshot of the waning crescent moon. And sometimes the sky tells multiple stories, from crispy blue with a few clouds to ominous looking in another direction.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get a good look here on the south and east side of town. This is going to be I-24 at Waldron Road there in Rutherford County. We are doing just okay. Traffic almost at a standstill here a few moments ago, but glad to see they have freed it up here. And now you're doing much better coming in from Rutherford County out there. Keep in mind, school out for the day out there for all of the parents out there and those who drive through school zones. Not as much to worry about. Still, the drive can be slow. Let's talk about it here. 29 minutes coming in from Hendersonville, 72 minutes coming in from Murfreesboro out there this morning, 62 coming in from Clarksville. Not that bad compared to how it can be there this morning, but the slowdowns here coming in through the Antioch area. We're going to try to take you there and anywhere else that's causing you problems coming up here as we get into our 7 o'clock hour.
Gas prices still really high, thanks in part to several issues. We've got the nationwide average right now for a gallon of regular unleaded at $3.59. I had to fill up this morning on my way into work. It was, I know I shouldn't have done that,
okay.
But it was an emergency. I forgot to do it yesterday. $3.31 where I filled up this morning north of Nashville, and that's high.
Yeah, that is high. We're also keeping a very close eye on the gas prices, so we understand that it's risen this time compared to the last year, I should say. Diesel, though, remains over $4. Ukrainian attacks on Russia's oil infrastructure and Middle East tensions have contributed to the spike. That is all according to AAA. By the way, if you want to find the best gas prices nearest you, go to fox17.com and search the gas, Fox 17, Fox, what is it called?
The fuel gauge.
The fuel gauge. I want to make sure I get it right for all of y'all. Hey, we're also following entertainment news because Antioch native Jelly Roll winning big at the CMT Music Awards in Austin, Texas last night.
Yeah, he took home all kinds of awards, including Music Video of the Year, Male Video of the Year, and the biggest one of the night, Performance of the Year. And he got emotional as he was thanking the fans.
Well, there was a four-way for the most nominations heading into last night, with Cody Johnson, Jelly Roll, Kelsey Ballerina, and Megan Maroney all getting 3 nominations each.
Lainey Wilson getting some big awards last night as well. So we are the Music City capital of the world, but the show last night in Austin. Still to come here on Fox 17 News this morning, we have continuing coverage of the cleanup efforts after the big bridge collapse in Baltimore. We'll tell you where the focus is shifting here this Monday.
And today's eclipse marks the last one.
Control it. 3-day blinds. Find the light for your life. Visit 3dayblinds.com to get started.
6:56 is the time. We're covering national headlines out of Baltimore. That is where crews are working to go ahead and get the containers from the cargo ship out of this area. It's after the crash that happened into the popular Baltimore Bridge, a very busy area. The Key Bridge Response Command Team says that container removal is going to continue this week, weather permitting, and removing the containers will then help to reopen a very important port for our economy. Crews there say 32 vessels have been using temporary channels as wreckage cleanup does continue.
Hey, driving around town yesterday, did you notice the lottery billboards showed the Powerball jackpot back down to 20 million? I saw them too. And that's because Saturday night, one ticket sold in Oregon matched all of Saturday night's Powerball numbers. And it was a whopper of a jackpot, $1.3 billion. It's the 8th largest jackpot in lottery history. Now, the drawing, interestingly enough, they had to delay the drawing because there was one place that had some technical difficulties. In addition to that one ticket with all winning numbers matched, there were 7 $1 million winners. So the next Powerball drawing is going to happen tonight. As I mentioned, the estimated jackpot right around $20 million. That could get you a lot of solar eclipse glasses, Greg.
I don't know what you're doing with them tomorrow, but it definitely could, for at least for today. So what to wear? Yes, have those handy. And don't be the person that bought them and you put them on the counter or you put them, on the desk somewhere or in a drawer, and then you leave the house and you go, oh no, I didn't bring them with me. Don't forget them. Also, don't forget your umbrella. Some showers are out there, mainly south of I-40. We'll keep looking at the radar. Just know that if you're seeing rain right now, it's going to persist here for a good chunk of the morning in that same location, south of I-40. Taking a look out the door this morning, not just the umbrella, but also what else to wear? Well, you don't need to have the big, heavy winter coat today. Right side of your screen, even during commercial breaks, all the way up until 9 o'clock, you'll get your current temperatures that are steadily in the upper 50s and low 60s this morning. We will see a mainly clear beginning to the day when it comes to rainfall if you are Nashville on north. However, a few showers do creep in, and we will look at an updated version of Future Track and talk about cloud cover for the eclipse coming up as we go into our 7 o'clock half hour.
Greg, thank you. Just a couple minutes before the start of our 7 o'clock hour, and steer clear traffic looking okay right now. This is I-65 at Fern Avenue, and I say okay because it's a little congested, but we have no crashes here. This is as you're approaching downtown from north of town. Just a couple of slow zones right now. I-40 over by the airport, a little slow coming into Nashville. I-24 coming into Nashville from Smyrna, Laverne, and then the bypass up in Hendersonville. You guys are a little backed up as well. We'll monitor steer clear traffic yet again for you in just a couple of minutes once we get into our 7 o'clock hour.
Okay, back to talking about the eclipse. One of the prime spots to watch the eclipse is over in Carbondale, Illinois. That is where researchers today are going to explore the impact on critters. Yeah, scientists with Southern Illinois University are going to make some audio recordings across the path of totality.
Yeah, they say they want to see how different animals respond during this event. For example, birds, they tend to quiet down, and nocturnal animals start to vocalize, which would make sense because they think it's getting dark when the eclipse happens. The whole thing is being funded by NASA, which, by the way, you might have been following this development. NASA set to launch 3 rockets toward the eclipse today to see what they can determine as well.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, country music star Morgan Wallen arrested and booked in Nashville, accused of throwing a chair from the top of a brand new bar on Lower Broadway. We'll take you there and let you know what we've been able to learn new this hour.
And it is Eclipse Day. We have rain on the radar right now for a few of us, and we'll take a look ahead to if we have a good chance or maybe no chance at all of seeing the eclipse. Depends on where you live. We'll break it down.
Coming up, I'll tell you what people in Murfreesboro are doing to watch the solar eclipse.
Thank you so much for joining us here on a Monday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source. Always here for you through 9 a.m. The top breaking news story of the morning here locally involves country singer Morgan Wallen.
Correct. Morgan Wallen is now facing 3 felony charges after he was arrested downtown. All of this happening early this morning. Now, according to an arrest warrant that we're going to tell you some updates about, Wallen threw a chair off the roof of Eric Church's downtown bar. It's called Chiefs on Broadway. By the way, that bar is 6 stories high. So we are going to show you a live look right here on your screen. This is downtown on Broadway. The arrest warrant says the chair landed just 3 feet away from a group of Metro police officers. Wallen is now charged with 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 count of disorderly conduct. Now, Wallen's lawyer, take a look here, sent us a statement stating in part, at 10:53 Sunday evening, Morgan Wallen was arrested in downtown Nashville for reckless endangerment and disorderly conduct. He is cooperating fully with authorities. And right now we are working to get a copy of Wallen's booking photo from last night. He is due, though, we understand, to appear back in court on May 3rd.
There's no words that would truly express my sorrow.
Well, 1 week after an Easter Sunday mass shooting took 1 man's life and left 6 others with bullet wounds, a community is now healing. And Roasted is over in the Salem Town community. That's the name of the restaurant where this Easter Sunday shooting led to 1 man's death. And the restaurant's owner on Sunday taking time to speak out. Her name is Erica Pfizer. She says the tremendous support that she and the victims have received has really been a light throughout their darkest hours. Listen.
I stand before you not just as a business owner, but a fellow griever, a neighbor, and a friend. The family of Alan Beecham and all the victims, I am praying for you and with you.
Well, you could hear her right there. She was holding back tears. The community says they will continue standing with the restaurant and the team there and everyone impacted. And they're now, they say, aiming to really overcome what happened there on Easter Sunday. And of course, we do want to update you regarding the shooting suspect arrested over in Kentucky. It happened last week after taking off from the scene. 46-year-old Anton Rucker, that's his name. He is now facing homicide, among other charges, for the 6 people who were wounded. Rucker is still waiting, though, to be transferred back here to Nashville.
And the biggest story of the day is going to be this total solar eclipse. We'll see it perhaps partially here in the mid-state, but millions of people are preparing nonetheless. We've got some of our local school districts who decided to call it for the day, like Rutherford County. They made the call to close classes for the partial solar eclipse. Interesting, Karen, though, is Karen Aguilar joining us live right now from Rutherford County. You know, the weather doesn't even look like it's going to cooperate, Karen, to be able to see it very well. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Weather permitting, the event that is going to be taking place behind me where people can actually watch the solar eclipse may or may not happen. But this is such an interesting and rare phenomenon. It's a reminder that we're a larger part of the solar system. And in different parts of the country, you will be seeing the moon cover the sun perfectly. But here in Murfreesboro, starting about 12:44 this afternoon, we'll be seeing a partial eclipse. And again, this is just such a rare phenomenon. It's an opportunity for people to see something bigger than themselves and even dream, if that's even possible to say. So weather permitting, if it does happen, the MTSU Observatory will be inviting people to watch this solar eclipse. Now, it could either be inside or outside, and they will be providing eclipse glasses. Now, if you can come out and watch, please do, because the solar eclipse won't happen for another 20 years. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. I'm just thinking of all those parents who have their kids home from school today, and well, we may or may not be able to see this thing. Nonetheless, today, Fox 17 News is going to bring you a 30-minute special from the path of totality. We have Katie Morgan going to Illinois to watch it from 1:45 to 2:15. She's going to be in Marion, Illinois, and you can see our coverage of the eclipse from that perspective. Listen, Katie might be able to get a better view than we will here.
She will for sure.
So head to fox17.com again, 1:45 to 2:15, the path of totality. And then after Katie's done, we have more coverage of the eclipse as it happens in other total cities. Again, that's at fox17.com. That'll go until 3 o'clock.
And the biggest thing is, are we going to be able to see our 95% partial solar eclipse later on this afternoon? And I'll tell you, it depends where you live, but there are some areas that will be almost overcast with a little bit of rain. And there'll be some pockets where there will be some breaks in the cloud cover. It's going to be really a game time decision if you can look up and actually get a good shot at it, because when it peaks, it's only for about 5 minutes right around 2:03 this afternoon. Small window of opportunity. Scattered storms all week, today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Taking a look at top of the radar, it's almost like a broken record standing in front of this thing this morning because nothing is moving. We've not seen this track anywhere except for mainly south of I-40, but a lot of the places that are seeing rain have been seeing it for a better part of the last 3 hours. Lawrenceburg, Columbia, Tullahoma, McMinnville. We need the umbrellas this morning, and every morning you're waking up in the 50s on your way to 74 this afternoon. We will look ahead in time to 2 p.m. in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic this morning. Let's get out to I-65 and Armory Drive there on the south side. Things moving along really nicely there. We're going to give you the latest look at other areas of town coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you. 7:07 right now. Fox 17 News tracking the search for Sebastian.
Moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
7:09 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. So lawmakers in the Tennessee House of Representatives passed a resolution to honor all kinds of things. They do it all session long. Earlier this year, they honored hot slaw as an official food of the state. Well, one lawmaker wanted to honor the Tennessee rifle. According to state lawmakers, it's very special because of the unique handle on Tennessee rifles. They are oftentimes custom built, but it's still a gun. And before long, it turned from a Tennessee rifle conversation to a Tennessee gun situation, and that turned into debates like this. Now, please keep in mind, one lawmaker is about to have his mic turned off, so don't adjust your television. It has nothing to do with you.
There are times when good people have chosen to wield this weapon to end atrocities, and so again, that's a part of the history that we're celebrating here.
I hear these talking points, right? Good people with guns and all those things. For the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, and other indigenous communities who were being shot by those very guns, do you think they think the settlers of this state were good people? Do you think they were saying, "Oh, these are the good folks. Thank you, God, that the good people have the firearm"? What are you objecting to? This is a comment that.
This bill is regarding whether or not we're going to recognize the Tennessee rifle or not. And I know that everybody has their feelings about certain things and all, and I think they've been adequately expressed.
Well, the bill did pass that committee a short time later and will now go on to the full Tennessee House. Let's check out your steer clear traffic out there this morning. We're going to get started here at I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. As you can see, traffic over there moving along, but there is some delays, some stop and go there from Antioch. You can take Murfreesboro Pike as the best way to steer clear. We're going to take you to other parts of the mid-state coming up in a few. Erica?
Whenever they didn't find Sebastian after the second, third day, it really hit my heart.
Well, after a 6 week of searching, the community gathering to pray that Sebastian Rogers is found. Family, friends, and those who have been out there in the community searching for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, they met by the marina over in Hendersonville, holding hands and wearing green ribbons. That's Sebastian's favorite color. Well, the 15-year-old, who does have autism, was reported missing the morning of February 25th and has truly been the center of an Amber Alert ever since. His mother and stepfather, Katie and Chris Proudfoot, believe Sebastian walked off from his home in the Shackle Island community. But after a month and a half of searching, there has been no trace of Sebastian. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office, they have said that leads like finding a pair of eyeglasses last week, well, that turned out not to be viable. They didn't belong to Sebastian. And Sebastian's biological father says he's not going to stop searching until he finds his son. Listen to him.
My heart is out there somewhere. And with y'all's help, everybody keeping their eyes open, your heads up, we'll find my son. You guys are Sebastian's army. We will find him. We will find him alive. We will find him well. That is all it is. God willing. Because I will never stop.
Well, search teams say they are committed to leaving no stone unturned and bringing Sebastian home safely.
Well, up next on Fox 17 News this morning, we've got the very latest look at the possibility of rain when so many people are hoping for clear skies. Greg Bobus will break it down for us.
There's to a Tucson. Get 3.79% APR for 60 months or get $1,250 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, 7:15. Right now, Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell is moving forward with his so-called transportainment and infrastructure plan. There's a Vanderbilt poll that shows tackling transportation and infrastructure is very important to people of Nashville.
Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse joining us in the studio with how this plan is moving forward. Good morning, Peyton.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So digging into the poll, 70% of Republicans agree this is an important issue, along with 92% of Democrats and 86% of independents. Mayor Freddie O'Connell is gearing up to release his details on his infrastructure and transportainment plan. The idea is to create a dedicated line of funding for these projects, and those living in Davidson County will get to vote on the issue when they head to the polls in November.
This is a plan that covers everything from modernization of signals to round-the-clock, all year long transit service. It supports regional extensions. This is still an ambitious plan, ambitious enough to need the approval of Nashville voters.
Mayor O'Connell says this could also help make the city more affordable, cutting traffic congestion, giving people more options so they can use public transportation instead of needing to own or maintain a vehicle. Now, the plan will be out April 19th, and it does need Metro Council approval. Reporting in studio, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you very much. 7:17 is the time right now. Hey, in case you missed it, we wanted to get you updated on a story that certainly has had a lot of attention here. Councilwoman Courtney Johnston running for Congress. She is challenging Andy Ogles in the 5th District Republican primary coming up in August.
In a statement, Johnston wrote she would bring, quote, real effective conservative leadership to the role. Her campaign, though, officially kicks off later this month. More updates to come.
All right. We've been mentioning this morning, yes, it is the day of the solar eclipse. No, we won't see it in totality here, and perhaps even a no when it comes to seeing it at all, Greg.
Partiality?
Yay.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a partial eclipse here, but you're talking about how the weather could really have an impact.
It will. I just stepped outside right now, too, because it's not raining here, and we're kind of at the similar cloud level we're going to have later today, where you can see the sun through the clouds a little bit, but not crystal clear. You only get like the light coming through the clouds. So we have to watch very carefully. We only need a 5-minute window, but that's such a specific time that I can't guarantee you that based upon where you live at exactly 2:03 this afternoon, you're going to have enough breakage in the cloud cover to see the sun. Because that's also the thing. You might actually work your way into the afternoon, and half the sky when you look up doesn't have a cloud in it, but the half of the sky that has the sun has clouds over it. So prepare for cloud cover, but just still keep your hopes up. Optimistic thinking here on a Monday. The 3 big bullet points: no severe weather, roughly 2 to 4 inches of rain this week, scattered storms every day. Let's talk cloud cover. Higher percentages, just like rain, never a good thing. We're going to be seeing more and more cloud cover Nashville on south and especially southeast. Keep that in mind. The more we get into and closer to southern Kentucky, the less cloud cover we're going to see. This is right at 2 o'clock during the afternoon, so keep that in mind. 3 big things, though. The rain is going to continue with us here throughout the entire afternoon. in pockets. Taking a look, though, top of the radar is showing us off some rainfall out there. We're going to go for 74 degrees later on this afternoon. Right now, right side of your screen, we're in the upper 50s and low 60s. Don't worry about cold. Don't worry about winter coats the entire week. Please don't forget the umbrella. You're going to get some rain. It's going to be there on and off every day. We'll look at 2 o'clock on Future Track. It's a brand new model run that just came in. We'll do that before we even get to 7:30.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you to I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Making that drive in through the Antioch area. You can see it for yourself. We're doing pretty nice out there, other than some slowdowns. Okay, so what you're looking at now is typical. No major accidents out there. This is normal for 7:20 in the morning on a Monday, coming in from the Antioch area. About 72 minutes on that overall drive right now. Let's take a look. We were doing so well here about an hour ago. We were wide open smooth. Now we're going into a school zone mode here at I-24 at I-65 on the north side. You can always take Ellington Parkway. Dickerson Pike is the best way to steer clear. Okay, let's get to your drive times. 44 minutes coming down right now from the Hendersonville from Sumner County. 72 minutes coming in from Murfreesboro at this point. 62 minutes in from Clarksville. Keep in mind, there are some schools out today for the solar eclipse, but spring break is officially over for every single school state here in the mid-state this morning. We've looked it up. It's run over the last 3 weeks, but it's all over now for everybody.
Justin, thank you. In your community, I do want to let you know that hoping to make a difference. Take a look at the photos on your screen. 49 new state troopers are joining the ranks, all to help keep our highways safe across the volunteer state. And the newest graduating class getting sworn in during a ceremony right here, a special ceremony that happened over in Nashville.
Yeah, these officers bringing a combined 187 years of previous law enforcement experience to the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
My glasses in the hutch were shaking, and I knew that something was wrong, and my dog looked at me like, "What did you do?" And I thought the house was going to blow up. I really did.
I feel like the animals can sense this before it even happens. We're talking about earthquakes and that big one that rattled the Northeast Friday. We have an update this morning on what happened, the cleanup efforts that are happening in Taiwan after the earthquake there, and much more to come here on Fox 17 News this morning.
And from
Damprid's new fast-acting drop-in tab attracts and traps excess moisture, eliminating musty odors.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. Time right now is 7:24, talking about the eclipse today. And today is the day that a lot of folks have been waiting for. We have been telling you all about the path of totality and how we're not quite in it this go round. Just a heads up, though, in case you are, say, making last-minute plans to go see this thing in the path of totality, you'd want to have to leave Middle Tennessee and go west. All right, if you look right here, these are paths of totality, and we've got them, you can see the bands here. There's Carbondale, Illinois, Paducah, Kentucky. Here's Nashville, right? So you would want to make sure that you head toward Paducah. You could probably make it to Carbondale if you left now. Hey, you could even head up to Evansville, Indiana. We've got some family there today watching the path of totality. So definitely some options, just a few hour drive away if you've got the day off or just looking for some time to kill. Greg, I know that Katie is going to be in Illinois today,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, Marion, Illinois. We kind of didn't know where to go because you got to go where you could see it.
Sure.
Otherwise, why are we going there? So even if you can't see it here, we'll have a lot of really fun information too.
And when you say where you can see it, you mean as it pertains to the weather, because we got places with a lot of cloud cover.
Unfortunately, yes. And let's keep taking some sky cameras downtown too throughout the morning if we can, just because those will show the picture of how it may be very similar to the exact same type of cloud deck that we get later on this afternoon. Now, you're not just getting clouds. A few of us are getting some decent rain coming down right now. One place that's getting a little bit of a break soon for the first time in several hours will be Lawrenceburg. But everything really is just settled in these little pockets that have not really gone anywhere. We're stuck where we're at right now for the next couple of hours. These clusters that are right here were in this circle an hour and a half ago. That tells you how quickly things are not progressing for us here. We're in a stagnant spot. Taking a look at Future Track, this is that brand new look at it, I promise. Here we go through 10, 11, 12, and 1 o'clock. Late morning into early afternoon, not as much rain on the radar, but you can see still fairly cloudy. You got to get out toward Clarksville and Hopkinsville to have a better chance to have a more clear sky when it comes down to 2 o'clock. But a few pop-up showers then begin to develop. What that means is that even if you don't have the clouds, you might get a quick little burst of some rain where it's a taller, darker cloud. And then that just kind of ruins it here. 2:03 is the peak time we're watching for very carefully. Keep that in mind. A few more showers and storms into tonight and tomorrow. This weather pattern is active to say the least. Take a look. 74 degrees today, 68 tomorrow. We'll be in the upper 60s to 70s the entire week, and the only guaranteed dry day for everyone is going to be on Friday. So we're grabbing the umbrella every day, and we're hoping that at 2:03 we can at least just for a few moments get a break in the clouds right where the sun just might happen to be positioned.
Steer clear traffic for you this afternoon, or this morning, rather, not this afternoon. Greg has been talking about 2:03. It's planted that seed in my mind here. I'm like, this afternoon, up in the sky. What is that? Bird, plane, cloud, moon? We'll find out. I-40 at 46th Avenue, I can tell you what this is. Nice traffic coming in from the west side of town there this morning. Things also starting to dry out. You can see where the wet pavement was still here on the shoulder, but a lot of the roadway continues to dry out here after that overnight rain pushed through the area, so we're looking okay. Here's 65 north of town here at Trinity Lane, looking much slower than we're seeing on the west side. You can always take Ellington Parkway to steer clear. We're going to give you drive times coming up in a few.
Earthquakes don't happen every day in New York, so this can be extremely traumatic.
Well, this Monday morning, we are continuing to follow the aftermath of 2 earthquakes. The one that we're going to talk about first over in Taiwan, where cleanup efforts are still overway over there after a 7.4 magnitude earthquake that killed 13 and really injured thousands. Rescue teams are still actively searching for hundreds of stranded people. Then back here in the U.S., a 4.8 magnitude earthquake recorded over in New Jersey on Friday shook houses over there. It was Friday morning. Crews say it was one of the strongest in state history.
It's 7:28 right now. A pro-Palestine protest.
Cultural adventures will leave you spellbound. Plan your trip at charlottesgotalot.com.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up, I'll have the details on a rare phenomenon, the solar eclipse that'll be passing right here through Murfreesboro.
And taking a look here, waking up this morning to a fairly cloudy sky. You see Karen has the umbrella. Yeah, we're going to need that for a good chunk of the week. Timing out some showers today and what it could mean for viewing that eclipse later today coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Pike in Hendersonville. We've got the very latest on how long it will take you to get to downtown.
Busy day, busy day. Do you have your glasses ready?
I think we're set. Okay. I just hope we can see this thing.
I know, really. Well, thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Monday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. And yeah, Greg mentioned it. We saw Karen there in Rutherford County just a moment ago. We're going to join her again here live in just a moment. It is raining this morning as so many folks are getting ready for the viewing of this, what we will see hopefully as a partial solar eclipse.
And folks over at Middle Tennessee State University, they're also getting ready for the big show. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us out there with what folks at MTSU can expect.
Hi, well, we're hoping that this event does happen. It's supposed to take place behind me here at the MTSU Observatory, either outside or inside. But of course, as you mentioned, it is raining, so we're not sure that's exactly going to happen. But if it does, thousands of people are really excited about this. This is a once in a last of a generation opportunity. The last time that this happened was 7 years ago, and it wasn't a partial solar eclipse. It was a total solar eclipse. And there were hundreds and hundreds of people that were lining up where I was just standing that were just observing this rare phenomenon. However, today, as I mentioned, we're not sure that is going to be happening, but if the event does take place, they will be providing eclipse glasses, and you will have an opportunity potentially to be inside the observatory and look at that partial solar eclipse. So if you are able to make it out, please do, because this happens only. It's a very rare opportunity, and it won't happen for another 20 years. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Okay, Greg, is
Yes.
it going to keep raining?
Yeah.
Okay.
In some spots for right now. And here's where the trick comes in, because that actually is a fantastic question. It's when does it rain and where? We only have about a 5-minute window of really seeing this look where it's near 95% totality for us. That's going to be right around 2 p.m. Any rain before it, any rain after it, not going to mess with us that much, but that's the time frame we really want to see clouds break up. We're going to have some clouds and a couple of showers out there as well. Here's the problem with the rain. It's going to be like this, where these little clusters of showers and maybe even a few weak thunderstorms begin to fire up right around lunchtime. Hard to know where exactly they're going to be, because they're not going to be with an actual line of thunderstorm activity like we see sometimes. Taking a look here on future track, you'll see what I mean. Morning hours, okay. But here's 1 p.m. Little pop-ups. Not a guarantee they're going to be in these exact spots, but a few showers here and there going through 2, 3, 4, and 5 o'clock with some cloud cover here. If you're in southern Kentucky, you have won when it comes to the best chance to see the eclipse around 2 o'clock. The more south we get, the more cloud cover we're going to have. This really will be a game time situation if you can see it or not. I wouldn't go canceling plans if you have an idea of what you want to do for it, but I can't guarantee it'll be clear enough to actually see it in real time.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning at 7:35. Here's a quick look here at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Pike here on the north side. Coming up from Sumter County, things are creeping in as they've come to almost a standstill here as of the last moments there on Vietnam Vets. Unsure exactly why that is, but we were looking into the drive times. They were around 50 minutes coming down from Hendersonville into downtown. So heads up on that. You can try to take Gallatin Pike. It's a good way to steer clear because it is slow. Here's 65 at Morris Lane coming through the Cool Springs area. Things also very slow in that place as well. You could take Franklin Pike. It's a good way to steer clear in this area as the traffic has bunched up and backed up. So far, no accidents to tell you about there. This is just congestion as people are getting out there on the roads.
Justin, thank you. Right now, we also have an update talking about a man riding a scooter downtown outside of a popular cafe, now seriously injured after getting hit by a pickup truck.
All right, here's what we know right now. The driver of that pickup truck is facing charges. Now, it all happened over the weekend just outside of the Listening Room Cafe on 4th Avenue. We're told 23-year-old Leonard Recker was riding a scooter. He's got life-threatening injuries. The man on your screen is not him. This is the man who's been arrested and charged. Police say this is the guy who was driving that Ford truck. They said he was speeding and that he is currently being tested for drugs and alcohol in his system. We will keep you posted as we learn more.
We also have an update right now from Vanderbilt. We're continuing to follow a story that we've been updating for days. It involves a pro-Palestinian protest over at the university that led to the arrest of several students. Well, the university is now issuing its own sanctions against the students.
All right, so 4 students in all arrested in the March 26th protest at an administrative building, which houses the chancellor's office. The students charged with vandalism and assault. More than a dozen students in all also suspended at the time.
Well, they were protesting, and we're showing you some video here on the screen. They were protesting student government funding being invested with companies that support Israel. Now, Vanderbilt says after reviewing the incident, the students involved will face disciplinary actions ranging from probation and suspension to some of those students being expelled.
Here on Fox 17 News this morning, the push to save Monell's at the Manor. This is the location right over by the airport. We'll tell you about the latest in that possible move.
And Fox 17 News, of course, keeping
the cause of your crash and fight for the compensation you deserve. Call Ponce Law, justice for all.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
7:40 is the time. The discussions are not quite over yet when it comes to Monell's at the Manor.
Yeah, so this is the location over by the airport. That building could be demolished because Nashville International Airport owns the building and doesn't plan to renew the lease.
Now, the last time we updated you about this, the Metro Council passed a non-binding resolution asking the airport's executive board to preserve the historic home and allow the restaurant to stay. The airport has said that the land is needed for expansion plans.
Right now 7:41. I know so many of you are depending on the weather today to cooperate, whether it's in regards to the eclipse or even your kids' outdoor activities later today.
Yeah, just because it's the eclipse at 2 o'clock, well, we have the whole rest of the day to worry about too. So this morning there are some showers that are out there. We had a few thunderstorms overnight. Not much happening in Nashville right now, but you go south and you go east, and that's where we're seeing some rain that is still there, and it has just not moved this morning. Scattered storms later on this week, all week. We have them today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. No severe weather projected as of right now, which is good, but roughly 2 to 4 inches of rain in just 4 days. Let's talk eclipse right at 2 o'clock. Cloud cover potential here is not looking great for many of our more populated areas. You're taking a look at Nashville itself, 55 to 60% cloud cover right at 2 o'clock. Murfreesboro, Tullahoma, even cloudier. And here's the kicker. There'll be a few isolated showers and weak storms starting to fire up during the day right around this time frame. The more north and west we go, think again, more north and west of Nashville we go, the better our chance to see the eclipse right around 2 o'clock. Just keep that in mind. Those are the big 3 things here, is just trying to view it later today. And if there are some after-school sports, watch really carefully, because there will be some bands of rain that do pull through during that time frame as well.
Thank you, Greg. Some sports news this morning. Kentucky basketball coach John Calipari is out. He's going to be taking the job in Arkansas. It's a major college basketball shakeup for sure.
Calipari had been the head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats since '09, leading the team to a national championship in 2012. ESPN reports he's finalizing the deal with Arkansas and could be finalized sometime today.
Wow. All right, let's get to your health news this morning. The Tennessee Department of Health is investigating cases of botulism-like illnesses following cosmetic injections.
Oh, now this is a serious illness caused by the toxin that attacks the body's nerves. Now listen, we're talking primarily Botox-like injections, which that's exactly what Botox and other similar injections are supposed to do. But we understand that there have been at least 2 people who have recently had injections end up in the hospital because of some type of illness related to that botulism. So if you think you might have been impacted, you're being urged to contact the Tennessee Health Department.
Steer clear traffic.
Players Club, then right now. Sign up, play our fantastic games, and if you don't get lucky on your first visit, you'll get up to $250 on the house. Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel. All kinds of awesome.
Talking about sports, NASCAR headed to Martinsville Speedway over the weekend for the Cookout 400. And it ended with a thrilling overtime finish.
Yeah, Heather Williams with more on the historic race at Martinsville.
Hendrick Motorsports has a complicated relationship with the Martinsville Speedway. There have been a lot of happy moments here. There's also been a few sad ones, which is what made this race win one to remember.
This place means so much to so many people, and Mr. Hendrick and Linda, and it's just really special to have the 40th anniversary and all that means.
It was a day that almost never happened. The 305 wins, the 14 drivers' championships, the 40 years is one of the top organizations in the sport.
Not be here today celebrating 40 years if it wasn't for this guy winning this race in April 1984.
It was a win at this track that saved this organization.
If Rick Hendrick hadn't let us, he told us that week before we weren't coming here. He said I was out of money. We hadn't won this race. Just think about how many people that might have affected.
20 years later, this track was also the site of one of the worst days for Hendrick Motorsports.
12:30 yesterday afternoon, the Hendrick Motorsports Beach 200 disappeared from the radar trying to land at the tiny Blue Ridge Regional Airport.
The crash killed 10 people, including Rick Hendrick's son, Ricky.
Seeing Rick's strength through that, it was one of the toughest times I've ever been through in my life.
It's made the relationship with this track, as I said, complicated. But today was another notch in the good column. Win number 29 at the Virginia Short Track for HMS, and the first 1-2-3 finish for Hendrick here.
Successful day and picking up a win on a day that means so much to Rick and Linda and in this company. So yeah, just really cool. We're really happy to contribute to the top 3, 1-2-3 finish.
It's just nice to have
things going in a good direction, at least for us. Nice to have a couple solid weeks.
For Byron, it is win number 3 on the season, the most for any driver so far on the young season. At the Martinsville Speedway, I'm Heather Williams.
Heather, thank you. Hey, we're also talking about how folks got together over in Columbia over the weekend for the 50th annual Mule Day Parade.
Yeah, it's been popular since the 1840s. Back then, it started as just a day to have a livestock market. But now Columbia celebrates the contribution of mules to that town all weekend long. I mean, they made it a whole thing. They had the parade Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at the video here, a gorgeous day weather-wise. People got out there and got to see some square dancing. They had some good food, lots of local vendors.
Always love to check out Columbia, so congratulations on another successful Mule Day celebration. We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist. Hey there, Greg Bobus. You got a busy day on tap as well.
Yeah, I mean, if only we could have just taken the weekend's weather and just pushed it a day or two.
Copy and paste, not so much
to give us the same thing, because now we have the cloud cover. We've had some rain on and off for a good chunk of the morning hours. Even overnight, we had a few showers and thunderstorms that we monitored. Nothing got too dicey for us here, but still a couple of booms of some thunder are out there. If you go south of I-40, taking a look at Doppler radar, the same areas that have been dealing with the rain so far since I would say about 4 o'clock this morning are still seeing the rain coming kind of in these little bands and these little droves of it. And that's going to be the case here till at least 10, if not 11 o'clock this morning. Taking a look, Sparta, you get up toward Cookeville again. It's going to settle right back into some areas that had lighter rainfall about 45 minutes ago. So keep that in mind. We're definitely going to have that primarily stay down to the south until later on this afternoon. You can see it right here on Future Track, but 1 p.m. It's an hour before the eclipse is at its peak. We start seeing a few pop-up showers. And who's going to have the rain on the radar right at 1 o'clock? It's very hard to tell because these are the heating of the day pop-up showers and weak thunderstorms that will linger all the way into this evening and overnight. Not raining all day, not even close. It's just a matter of do we get it right around 2 o'clock? And we are going to be fairly cloudy here, especially the more south we get. Cloud cover, also much more noticeable. Taking a look, the path from Texas all the way up to Canada, many of the areas that are right in that black area, which is the total eclipse, have some clouds in the forecast. There's no primary premier spot to catch this in any one of the given windows here. It happens very quickly. The whole thing starts a little after 1 o'clock and it's done by the time we get to about 3. Quickly moving throughout the country here for this one. And we just saw Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan popped in here. She's hitting the road right now to go to Illinois. We've got a really fun special for you guys on Fox17.com, streaming live from a place that will be totality later on this afternoon. 90% coverage for us here back home. But yes, that cloud cover might make it tough to see. Have the glasses ready just in case.
Will do, Greg. Let's take a look at that steer clear traffic right now. I-40 at Fessler's Lane, just east of downtown. We do have a crash of note about a half a mile from here. We cannot see it on our cameras because of some things blocking our way, overpasses and billboards and things like that. So it is causing a slight delay. You want to use Elm Hill Pike and Lebanon Pike as good ways to steer clear coming in from the east side. Once you get to this point, though, you're doing a lot better. Let's take a look at drive times right now. Hendersonville at 46 minutes on that drive from Sumter County, 68 minutes as you make that drive in from Murfreesboro, 39 minutes on that drive coming in from Franklin. We saw some slow goes through the Cool Springs area. It's typical for this time of the day. No major accidents there on 65.
All right, Justin, thank you. 7:51 right now, and in your community, 8 people now have the keys to their own homes thanks to Habitat for Humanity and our Nashville community.
The home dedication taking place in North Nashville's Village by the Creek neighborhood. That's what it's called. The area has 58 single-family homes. It's built by Habitat for Humanity of Greater Nashville. Each new house already has a homeowner eager to move in and start their new life.
Getting finances in order, making sure that I am, just in alignment with what I need to be doing, holding myself accountable, telling my money where it needs to go to finally become a homeowner.
All of a sudden having something that can be passed down to their children for generations, the equity built up through our home ownership, the stability provided, which allows children to go to the same school year after year.
Oh, very cool. Now, in addition to the dedication of these homes, the mayor helped name 2 city streets nearby after prominent local African-American leaders.
Dr. Carolyn Baldwin Tucker was the first African-American woman on Davidson County's Council at Large back in 1999. She also spent 50 years working in education for Metro Public Schools.
And the late Chester Hughes served as a council member in 2003 and was instrumental in bringing big retailers to the area and keeping utility lines underground for neighborhood beautification.
Some elderly cats in need of good homes finding their way to a new shelter. Yeah, we're going to tell you where they're settling in after the rescue and how it took a $30,000 hit.
Breaking news this morning from
and more. Tickets starting at just $15. On sale now at CMAfest.com. Download the CMA Connect app for the festival lineups and schedules.
7:55 our time here on this Monday, and we're starting up with temperatures that are in the 50s, near 60 degrees. Right side of your screen, they're there for you every morning, all the way through 9 o'clock. 74 later on this afternoon. We've had scattered rain showers and a few embedded thunderstorms this morning, mainly south of I-40, and that will continue into the later stages of this morning, and a few pop-ups then across the border possible for this afternoon. So no one to mow them, No, and then no for Tuesday and Wednesday. If you didn't mow the lawn over the weekend, you're going to have some very tall grass by the end of this week, because we get some 2 to 4 inches of rainfall between now and Thursday each day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All will bring a few showers into the forecast. However, the weekend, everything gets great just in time for Saturday and Sunday. No rain worries either day. You could see some nice warm morning temperatures, and afternoons will be much warmer as well, upper 70s near 80 degrees, and jam-packed with sunshine. The big question is, are we going to see the eclipse later on this afternoon? A new look at Future Track as we go into our 8 o'clock half hour.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a look at the latest we've got going on at 65 at Dickerson Pike, just north of town. You can see for yourself traffic there moving along without issue. We're doing just fine there on that north side as you make your way into the city here. So no big problems here. We also are looking at easier traffic here on the south side, 65 at Moores Lane, coming through the Franklin area. Looking really nice over there as well. Now, we've just picked up some brand new drama over on the east side of the loop. We're going to take you there in our 8 o'clock hour.
Well, a big day for nearly 60 cats in Nashville. The Senior Catio recently held their grand reopening off of Music Valley Drive. It's right near Opry Mills.
So here's what happened. They were having kind of a tough time getting a location in Mount Juliet, and shelter organizers tell us they spent $30,000 to get a prior facility in Mount Juliet built, then ran into all kinds of problems. So they've now moved over near Opry Mills. The rescue is actively taking donations on their Facebook page and website, and you can see how they've got the catio set up. Again, this is a place for senior cats to live comfortably and hopefully get new homes. So if you'd like to read more about the story, we'll make sure we get it over on the website, fox17.com. And we've been telling you about how to get ready for the solar eclipse today, but what about the animals in your life? Well, listen, dogs and cats may not really be impacted all that much, but animals like birds. So for example, if you got birds at your home, right, they might feel a little confused when the sun starts to dip away. If you want to read more about other things you might want to know with regards to animals and the eclipse, we also have that story over on our Facebook page. So head to facebook.com and you'll find us at Fox Nashville.
Antioch native Jelly Roll winning big at the CMT Music Awards that happened over in Austin, Texas last night. The singer taking home several awards, including Music Video of the Year, Male Video of the Year, and the biggest win of the night, Performance of the Year. But really, listen to him. Henny Wilson also won Female Video of the Year for her hit show, Watermelon Moonshine hit song. Stay with us. Our 8 o'clock hour starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, country music star Morgan Wallen ends up in jail early this morning. He's accused of throwing a chair from the top of a Broadway bar. We'll get you all the details as we've been able to learn them new this hour.
We have made it to eclipse day, but rain is out there on the radar right now. What the rain and cloud scenario is going to be this early afternoon for potential viewing of the eclipse.
Coming up, hear from an MTSU professor explain all about the solar eclipse.
Thank you so much for joining us here on a Monday morning. A lot to get to on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. when those other stations go to their network programming that is pre-recorded. But we've got you covered live and local through 9.
And we are bringing you up to speed on our breaking news. Country singer Morgan Wallen facing 3 felony charges after he was arrested downtown. It happened overnight. So we do want to bring you up to speed on this breaking news story. According to an arrest warrant, Morgan Wallen threw a chair off the roof of Eric Church's Chiefs on Broadway. It's a bar. It's a bar that's also 6 stories high. We're showing you a live look over on Lower Broadway. We do know the warrant says the chair landed just 3 feet away from a group of Metro police officers. Well, Wallen is now charged with 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and also 1 count of disorderly conduct. We also want to bring you up to speed on what his attorneys have to say. Releasing a statement showing right here, reading in part, at 10:53 Sunday evening, Morgan Wallen was arrested in downtown Nashville for reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct. He is cooperating fully with authorities. Now, right now, we are working to get a copy of Wallen's booking photo from what happened. We do understand he is due to appear back in court on May 3rd.
Another big story that we're following for you right here at home and of course across the country is the eclipse happening today. We've got people on standby ready to watch it. We've got some children who are out of school. I imagine there are some parents who are thinking, we're out of school and we might not even be able to see it. And that's because of the cloudy, perhaps rainy conditions that you may have where you are. Nonetheless, we've got a lot to talk about here. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live in Rutherford County, where they are out of school today, with what is going on there today. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. Thousands of people are expected to step outside to catch a glimpse of this rare phenomenon, the solar eclipse. In different parts of the country, there will be a total solar eclipse. But here in Murfreesboro, starting around 12:44 this afternoon, there'll be a partial solar eclipse. So get your eclipse sunglasses, put them on, because if you do look directly into the sun, you could go blind, and you don't want to do that. Now, I'm here with the MTSU professor, Eric Klumpe. And what's so special about this solar eclipse?
As an astronomer, I say all eclipses are special, and it's just another opportunity to see something that's kind of rare. Planet Earth does get 2 solar eclipses every year, but we're talking a solar eclipse in Middle Tennessee, and those are a little more rare. The last time that happened was 7 years ago, but I don't think it's going to happen probably in my lifetime again. I'll have to travel to the next one if I want to see it here in North America.
All right, what are we expecting for today? I know you guys had this little setup here where people can observe, right? It's just a place for people to observe. Go ahead.
Yeah. We're an educational institution, MTSU, so a big part of our heart is education, helping people understand stuff that's kind of new and interesting. And as an astronomer with access to an observatory, it's just a cool idea to point the telescope in a manner that's safe, that stares at the sun during the eclipse, so folks can just watch the eclipse like they're watching television, because we'll have the images projected onto large television screens that are mounted on our exterior walls.
That's great. Thank you so much. Well, we are hearing from scientists, though, that solar eclipse will be happening in another 20 years. So if you can come out and watch, please do. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your code red station.
Karen, thank you so much. And a reminder, if you were watching our behind the scenes Facebook Live just a few minutes ago, you got to see Katie Morgan. She jumped in here to the station for just a few minutes. She is now on her way for our special that's going to happen this afternoon. It's at fox17.com from 1:45 to 2:15. Katie is going to the Path of Totality. She'll be in Marion, Illinois. You can see total coverage of the eclipse, again, starting at 1:45 to 2:15. And then after that, for about the next 45 minutes until 3, we'll have more coverage for you live.
Weather-wise, though, we're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist.
It's the big question. Are we going to be able to see it? We know the science. We know how they're just not frequent. So what's it going to look like later on this afternoon? Let's piece together everything we can, the best that we can. That's what we're going to do right now. I should say scattered storms this week, but no severe weather expected today, tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. We're going to get some soaking rain on and off during that time period, 2 to 4 inches of rain. The next guaranteed dry day for everybody isn't until Friday. Taking a look at the forecast, starting off with some showers here that have really just been meandering in the same spots throughout the entire morning. Nothing really has gone north of I-40 here since overnight, since sunrise for us, which is good. But cloud cover percentage, lower the number, more likely to see the eclipse. Higher the number, harder to see the eclipse. That tells you, you want to know places with the most clouds, think south of I-40, kind of where the rain's at now, but especially south and east of the Nashville area. Best places to possibly see it will be in north and west. I'm not guaranteeing that anyone will or will not, but the setup does show quite a bit of cloud cover.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic. Let's get you to Ellington Parkway at Spring Street over in East Nashville. Traffic over there, it's a bit of a stop and go. We did have a crash right at the on-ramp here as you make your way in from Cleveland Street, Cleveland Park area into East Nashville here. Traffic is moving, but we are running into a bit of a standstill. This will head you straight towards, well, depending on where you want to go. James Robinson Parkway, Main Street is where this will dump you off at. Just know that things are a little bit slower than usual there in that particular area. Okay, let's take a look here at I-40 at Fester's Lane. Here we go. We finally got a shot of this thing. This is a multi-car crash on the shoulder. Took TDOT a little while to find the right angles, but let me take a full step out of the frame so you can see it there for yourself. Several cars on the shoulder of the road. This is going to cause a pile up there from the east side. You can use Elm Hill Pike or Lebanon Pike as the best way to steer clear until they get that out of the way.
Justin, thank you. Fox 17 News tracking the search for Sebastian Rogers ever since he disappeared. We have the latest on the search efforts, both from over the weekend and what could be happening this week. Still ahead.
And do want to say thank you for waking up with us here on a Monday morning. Fox 17 News, your only local station with traffic and weather updates.
Popeye signature hot sauce on our new wings or chicken sandwich today.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Southeast Financial Credit Union.
8:09 is the time. Lawmakers in the Tennessee House of Representatives passed resolutions for all kinds of things. Earlier this year, they honored hot slaw as an official state food. Well, one lawmaker wanted to honor the Tennessee rifle. According to lawmakers, it's very special because of the unique handle on the back of those Tennessee rifles. They're oftentimes custom built, but it's still a gun. And then before long, a debate about the Tennessee rifle turned into a debate about guns across the state in general.
I have 7 guns, and none of them have ever been violent. We never talk about knife violence. We had 4 people in Colorado, that were stabbed to death, and nobody talks about knife violence. Nobody talks about taking knives off the street and putting them back on the kitchen table where they belong.
We're celebrating a gun. It's a part of history. It belongs in a museum. Put it in a museum. Why do we have to continue to codify this and put this and make it the state gun? I feel like at this time in history, it's insensitive.
Well, the bill did pass the committee that it was in and will now go on to the full Tennessee House of Representatives, where I'm sure there will be similar types of debate over this, the Tennessee rifle.
Whenever they didn't find Sebastian after the second, third day, it really hit my heart.
Well, after 6 weeks of searching, the community gathered to pray for Sebastian Rogers. They are praying that he is found. Family, friends, and many people helping out with that search for Sebastian met by the marina there in Hendersonville. They were holding hands and wearing green ribbons. That is Sebastian's favorite color. The 15-year-old with autism was reported missing on the morning of February 25th and has been the center of an Amber Alert ever since. His mother and stepfather believe that Sebastian walked off from the home there in the Shackle Island community overnight back on February 25th. But after a month and a half of searching, there's been no trace of Sebastian at all. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, has searched every day and says he will not stop until his son is found.
My heart is out there somewhere, and with y'all's help, everybody keeping their eyes open, your heads up, we'll find my son. You guys are Sebastian's army. We will find him. We will find him alive. We will find him well. That is all it is. God willing, because I will never stop.
Search teams say they are committed to leaving no stone unturned in bringing Sebastian home safely. Well, up next, we're going to update you on that crash on I-40 near Fessler's Lane, just east of downtown. We're going to tell you the best way to steer clear beyond any backup.
9.
We've been breathing this.
Lots of people don't realize that mold feeds off moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
8:14 is the time, and new this morning, Mayor Freddie O'Connell is moving forward, he says, with his transportainment and infrastructure plans.
Yeah, so many folks here, especially in the Nashville area, are concerned about congestion and growth. And so those are the two topics that the mayor is expected to talk about. Let's join Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse right now in studio here with how this is moving forward. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. Well, this came about from a Vanderbilt poll, and we dug into the poll a little bit, and 70% of Republicans agree this is an important issue, along with 92% of Democrats and 86% of independents. Mayor Freddie O'Connell is gearing up to release his details on this infrastructure and transportainment plan. Now, the idea is to create a dedicated funding line for those projects, and those living in Davidson County will get to vote on the issue when they head to the polls in November.
This is a plan that covers everything from modernization of signals to round-the-clock, all year long transit service. It supports regional extensions. This is still an ambitious plan, ambitious enough to need the approval of Nashville voters.
Mayor O'Connell says this also could help make the city more affordable, cutting traffic congestion and giving people more options so they can use public transportation instead of needing to own or maintain a vehicle. Now, the plan will be out April 19th, and this needs Metro Council's approval. Reporting in studio, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you very much. It is 8:16. Yes, we have this partial solar eclipse today that hopefully we'll get to see. But Greg, I know even more people are probably thinking about after school today, drive home this evening. How is this weather shaping up for all that?
We're to look at future track and kind of pinpoint all of it, because you're right. The eclipse, it's not the only thing that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be here for just a couple of minutes.
And we've still got our lives going on.
Yeah.
So the big three things in the forecast is just to know that showers and thunderstorms will be on and off this afternoon throughout the evening. Very much so scattered in nature, grabbing an umbrella in case. I would tell you that primarily if you are Nashville on south, you have the best chance to see those storms later on, especially right around after school practice time and the drive home time. Mild mornings right side of your screen. We're waking up here in the 50s and 60s. Now let's talk about the eclipse and then get into future track and put all the pieces together. This is a partial eclipse. 95% of the sun will be covered by the moon, and that maximum coverage happens right around 2:03 in the afternoon. However, it'll start to cover the sun right around 12:44 our time and end at 3:20. So you'll get that peak right at 2:03, but say the clouds kind of are there, then they're not, then they're there. Peek outside with your glasses here during that time frame, and you might be able to catch it moving in even if you don't catch the peak. Eye protection definitely 100% needed. Never take them off when you're looking up at it. Now, here we go on future track. I mentioned a few showers this morning south of I-40, but then after we get toward 2 o'clock, the pivotal time here, pop-up showers and weak thunderstorms will be on the radar and will be fairly cloudy. Here's your after-school and drive home time at 6 p.m. More scattered showers and thunderstorms. You get how they're going to bubble up and then kind of die down? That's the case we're getting ourselves into for today. You'll have a high temperature in the 70s later this afternoon, so warm. No winter coats at any point this week. 74 degrees. We'll stay in the 60s and 70s every day this week with our next completely dry day, not until Friday.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you to I-40 at Fessler's Lane coming in from the east side of downtown. We were dealing with a crash here a short time ago. Looks like they have gotten that out of the way so that it's no longer a problem. It's still there. It's right up there on the shoulder, but traffic is easing by okay up there without big problems. You can still use Elm Hill Pike though, or Lebanon Pike is the best way to steer clear there on the east side. We're still dealing with a slow go coming in from the Murfreesboro area. This is going to be I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. The best way to steer clear is using Murfreesboro Pike, as that drive in from Murfreesboro is still just over an hour.
Justin, thank you. After the break, tornadoes ripping across the mid-state 18 years ago yesterday on Sunday. We're taking a look back at that destruction.
And the countdown is on for this year's solar eclipse. Our chief meteorologist
8:22 is the time here on this Monday morning. Of course, everybody looking forward to the solar eclipse. As a matter of fact, that total solar eclipse is scheduled to happen around 2 o'clock today in several parts of the country.
Now here, just a partial view, but look who's joining us right now. We have our chief meteorologist, Katie Morgan. We told you if you were watching our Facebook Live just a few minutes ago, she popped into the studio because she's on her way to Illinois. Katie joining us live now from the road. Katie, tell us where you're going and how the forecast is looking. Well, daggone it, wouldn't you know?
Technology.
Technology gets you again.
Gotta love
it's inevitable. She looks happy.
She looks great.
She already has the shades on too, because she's going where you're going to actually see it. So yeah, she's going to be live streaming from out there too. A bunch of science facts and stuff leading into totality from about 1:45 later on Fox 17. I'm jealous because they're going to see it better than us. Oh, and we didn't have her say where she's going, so I have a map right there for you.
Oh, cool.
That's where see the little logo
right there.
That's where we're going to be. Southern Illinois, Marion, Illinois is where she will be, and that will be total eclipse, where the sky just goes completely dark for a few minutes. That's the case. We're going to have 95% coverage here back home. However, we also have cloud coverage here back home. 35 to 45% cloud cover in Hopkinsville, and the numbers only go up in terms of percentages of potentially seeing some clouds that we have to work with here. The more south we get and the more east we get, more likely to see more cloud cover. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying you're not going to see it, but it might be tough to pick it out during the entire afternoon.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to I-65 at Moores Lane through the Cool Springs area. Looking a lot better out there than we were earlier this morning. Traffic can actually ease through now, so the drive time should start to drop there to around 40 minutes coming in from Franklin. We'll take a look at other areas of town coming up soon.
I understand we've got Katie back now to talk a little bit more about her drive to Illinois for today's eclipse. Hey, Katie.
Katie, you looking good. Sunglasses off this time. Let's try it that way.
Yes, I'm going to keep it short just because we've passed Clarksville. We're getting into the Hopkinsville area, and I know that the cell service isn't great. But we are on our way. We are on 24 right now. Traffic, I'll tell you, I've flipped this around, is not bad. But most importantly, look at that gorgeous blue sky. So I'm hopeful that this will be the case as we continue our way towards Marion, Illinois. So we are doing good. We've had a few slowdowns. I think they've been pretty typical of the area. We slowed down just around Old Hickory Boulevard on 24 and then right around the Clarksville area. But other than that, I'd say that traffic, back again looking out here, is not too bad. It's moving, and every now and then we'll find a hiccup or so, but we're hoping for these blue skies the whole way up as we get closer to Kentucky and then into Illinois. It looks like a slowdown coming up now in the Clarksville area. So fingers crossed. Wish us luck over the next couple hours.
Katie, I love it because not only are you giving us the eclipse updates, but you're giving us steer clear traffic updates as well.
Yeah.
We should have you on the morning show more often.
You got it
what do
all
you say?
for us.
Yes, I'm a jack of all trades, right?
Katie, thanks so much. We can't wait to see you get there and see how things are shaping up. Quick reminder, Katie will be with us live starting at 1:45 this afternoon over on fox17.com.
Well, from one weather event to another. Unfortunately, this one's a little bit more somber. We are taking time to remember some weather history made here in the mid-state 18 years ago today. That's when 9 tornadoes tore through parts of Middle Tennessee. 7 people died in the city of Gallatin. It was an EF3 tornado that touched down in Sumner County, leaving 128 people hurt.
Hendersonville hit really hard here. Those windstorms bringing baseball-sized hail to places like Ashland City as well. The National Weather Service office in Nashville got a medal for their life-saving services during that tornado.
Well, up next, a pro-Palestinian protest leading to a handful of arrests over at Vanderbilt University. We're going to have an update on the call to drop the charges.
And we have a live look into Nashville right now. This is at Geodis Park, where looking ahead, the Bourbon and Bubbles Festival will happen this weekend at Geodis. This is an all-in-one party. They've got tasting, Iroquois steeplechase fashion show, and Fox 17
Game for a chance to win $100 or $1,000. Go to KFDM.com and you can win money.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Higgins Firm. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up, you'll hear from NTSU professor discuss the solar eclipse here in Murfreesboro.
And all eyes to the skies right now. Depending upon where you're at, you might have bright blue sky or complete overcast and rain. We'll see how this translates into the afternoon.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-24, the 65 junction downtown. Someone's expecting this to arrive somewhere, and it's going to be delayed. I'll explain.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Monday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are your live local news source through 9 a.m. Well, we've got people all across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky getting ready for the eclipse today. We have some school districts that decided to close, really here in the mid-state. Rutherford County and Stewart County schools making that call to close classes altogether for this event.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is joining us live with an update for what viewers can expect over at MTSU. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. I'm inside the MTSU Observatory, and there's going to be a lot of fascinating things that are going to be going on today on this campus. And the MTSU professor, Eric Klumpa, helped orchestrate some of it. Please tell me what we're being expecting for today, and why should people learn about this wonderful, rare phenomenon?
Well, thank you, Karen. Thank you for taking the time to come to our campus. You're most welcome, and I'm glad you're here. I'm an astronomer. Anything that happens above the horizon is interesting to me. Solar eclipses happen to be at the top of the list. Most of us would acknowledge that. And although we're not in the path of totality, I think we're in the low 90 percentile, 90% in terms of coverage. So it should get noticeably darker, but not like nighttime. And that's just a fun thing to experience. It kind of breaks out of your routine. Just a typical day, go to work and come home, to just to pause and to just enjoy this phenomenon. They are rare. I think North America only gets about 8 solar eclipses every 100 years. And this one being so close to, the path of totality is so close to the Nashville area that this is a good opportunity for everybody.
Right, and you wanted to showcase that, right? So there's going to tell us how that's going to. There's going to be on screens.
Yeah, our observatory. I'm not going to claim it's unique, but it might be just a little bit different from what people experience at observatories. We have large screen, high-def television sets built into the exterior walls. So to observe with our telescope, you just need to stand and look at the TV sets, while the cameras that are in the telescope do all the work. So we can host, dozens of people all looking and actually interacting and oohing and ahhing together. That's sort of what we're going for. I'm hoping the weather will cooperate.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping that they will too. And if you are going to be going out to get a glimpse of that solar eclipse, don't forget your eclipse glasses. If not, you could go blind. Reporting live inside the MTSU Observatory, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And that is one of the really big questions about it. It's not just how does that little chunk of time during the day work out for us here, but the entire day, regardless of what you have planned. You got to know we're getting out the door here to some cloud cover and some rain south of I-40, and we're going to work into a few more showers and storms for the afternoon and evening. Storms every day in the forecast for us here until Friday. Rainy week ahead of us. 2 to 4 inches worth of rain coming down in that time frame. And we've not really been able to track the rain because look at this. This is the last several hours. It has not really moved. We just keep trending where we get batch after batch in the exact same spots. That's how this will continue through at least 10, if not 11 o'clock this morning. Radar will die down a little bit. And then a few pop-ups will be everywhere on the map, even north of areas like Murfreesboro. But here's what I mean. Batch of rain, dry, batch of rain, dry. That's how this has been for the better part of the last 3 hours in our southern tier of counties. And the same thing goes for Lawrenceburg, and you go out toward Lewisburg. Columbia, a little dry patch for right now. Nashville hasn't seen that much rain over the course of the last several hours. 61 very comfortable degrees right now on our way to the 70s later on this afternoon. We're talking about a high temperature that could be as warm as 74 degrees later today. We are starting off a touch cooler, though, in the 60s. Taking a look. We'll try to find some sun, but really it's going to be a cloudier afternoon than we might want. We keep it warm. We'll track you through the upcoming showers and storms for this afternoon. We'll look at cloud cover versus trying to look up if you want to look at the eclipse. And we'll also talk evening drive and afternoon sports for kids getting out of school later today.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic takes us out and about here to downtown Nashville. This is going to be I-24 to 65 junction just north of downtown. This is where we were just looking at one of those tiny homes that was over there on the side of the road. They have fixed whatever problem that the tiny home had, did some emergency contracting work there on the side, and we are continuing on out there, no problems on 65 and 24 downtown. Let's take a look at the drive coming in from Antioch. This is going to be 24 Harding Place, still a little bit congested making that drive in from the Antioch area. Drive times, though, starting to drop there. At one point, we were around 70 minutes coming in from Murfreesboro. Now we're just under an hour, which is a great time here for you getting out the door.
We have an update this Monday morning after a man riding a scooter downtown outside of a popular cafe was seriously hurt after getting hit by a pickup truck. We now know the driver is facing charges.
Right, so let's take a look here. Happening over the weekend just outside of the Listening Room Cafe on 4th Avenue. This is the man who's facing charges. Police say he hit 23-year-old Leonard Rucker, who was riding a scooter, and he's now battling life-threatening injuries. The man accused, again on your screen here, this is Randolph Allen Ford. Police say he was speeding. They're now testing him and to see if his blood had any drugs or alcohol in his system at the time. He's already charged with vehicular assault and reckless endangerment. We'll let you know whether those charges get upgraded.
Now, we also have another update on a story we've been following for days out of Vanderbilt University after a pro-Palestinian protest over at Vanderbilt led to the arrest of several students. The university now issuing its own sanctions against the students who are seen in the video that we're going to show you right here. Well, 4 students were ultimately arrested in the March 26 protest at an administrative building which houses the chancellor's office. The students were charged with vandalism and also assault. More than a dozen students were also suspended at the time.
They had been protesting student government money being invested with companies that support Israel. That's why they were protesting. Well, now Vanderbilt says after reviewing all this, the students involved will face disciplinary actions ranging to suspension or probation, even some of the students being expelled.
We're following up on Monell's at the Manor. The debate is not over just yet. The push to save Monell's at the Manor and how folks are still getting involved.
And as your live local news source through 9 a.m., we can bring you breaking news updates on big local stories like the one you'll hear about in just a moment.
Right. Isn't that right, Aaron? Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No payments for 24 months. Window Nation, the perfect fit.
Cancer curing, drug shortages.
Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
8:40 is the time, and right now we are continuing to follow breaking news as country music star Morgan Wallen is facing 3 felony charges. Well, now Fox 17 News, we have the mugshot from his overnight arrest. Go ahead and take a look right here. According to the arrest warrant, Morgan Wallen threw a chair from the roof of Eric Church's Chiefs on Broadway bar, which, by the way, is 6 stories high. Well, the warrant goes on to say the chair landed just 3 feet away from a group of Metro officers. Morgan Wallen is now charged with 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 count of disorderly conduct. His lawyers do say that Morgan Wallen is cooperating fully with authorities. He is due back in court May 3rd.
The discussions are not quite over yet when it comes to Monell's at the Manor.
Yeah, this is the Monell's location over by the airport. Hey, and in case you're new to Nashville and you're thinking, what is Monell's? This is a family-style, all-you-can-eat, good old-fashioned Southern cooking restaurant.
Yes,
okay.
Not buffet. They bring the food to you.
Well, it's basically like you sit there on the table. It's as much as you can eat.
Is what I'm saying. You don't go get it.
Yeah.
They bring it to
but
you.
It's good.
So it's
Listen,
a little different.
They've got a Germantown location too, and the historic building over by the airport is the one that's at risk of being demolished because Nashville International owns the building, and they don't plan to renew the lease.
So the very latest on this is they're continuing to talk about it. The last time we updated you on this, the Metro Council passed a non-binding resolution asking for the airport board to try and preserve the historic home and allow the restaurant to stay. There's also been lots and lots of social media push for things like that as well. The airport has long said that the land is needed for expansion plans that they have.
All right, so Fox 17 News working to get you more information on the latest developments. Right now, as Justin mentioned, there is a petition to save the building. It's got about 5,000 signatures. Whether that would be enough to do anything remains to be seen. We'll be following the story for you and keep you updated as we learn more.
And here we are, 8:42, taking a look at the big day. Eclipse Day is here. 3 things to know. That viewing conditions are going to be very pivotal for this right around 2 o'clock. Very mild mornings in the 50s to near 60 degrees. Scattered storms all week. We'll break down the timing of all that coming up in a few minutes.
It's 8:43 right now, and Fox 17 News keeping you updated on
the very latest when it comes to not just the
Now for exclusive same-week VIP appointments. Not a VIP? No worries. Scan the QR code to book your standard chimney service online. Chim Chimney, where your comfort is our priority.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We had a lot of folks show up in Columbia over the weekend for the 50th annual Mule Day Parade.
And listen, Mule Day has been a popular tradition since back in the 1840s. That's when it served as a single-day mule and livestock market event. Maybe you're new to the area, so you haven't heard of Mule Day, but Columbia, listen to this, celebrates Mule Day all weekend long, and man, they had some fantastic weather for the parade on Saturday. Visitors also got to enjoy some square dancing, the crafts festival, and a mule driving contest. Also traditional Appalachian food and music.
Yeah, if you haven't been out yet, I would encourage you to check it out next year. Go ahead and put it on the calendar. List of things to do in the spring.
I wish that we could just copy and paste Saturday and Sunday's forecast, because the rain is not what I'm, enjoying.
This is not copy and paste. It's more Control Alt Delete.
Thank you, Greg.
It's kind of how it feels.
Wah, wah.
You get me.
I get you. I'm picking it up. Now, this is the day we're going to watch about a 4-hour window of time here when it comes to the eclipse. Then I want to take you through this evening when there's a storm chance, too, as we're driving around, maybe getting home from work later today, or kids that might have after-school sports. There will be some showers and thunderstorm activity that will be on the radar. What is the exact timing of this? 12:44. So just after lunchtime, we're right in the heart of lunchtime, really, going until 3:20. That is the beginning and end of the eclipse. The peak of it is going to be at 2:03 our time here at Central Time, right across all of Middle Tennessee. You need eyewear. The problem is we have to break up enough cloud cover to actually see this happen. Here's going into the later hours of this morning. A few more showers that have already been out there all morning long south of I-40 will continue to fizzle out a little bit and then eventually die down. But here's 2 p.m., that peak time. A few pop-up showers and weak thunderstorms are going to be on the radar for us, so keep that in mind. Getting into the afternoon and then evening hours, right around sunset, 7 p.m., a few more showers and storms. So any after-school outdoor activities could be hampered by not just rain, but also weak thunderstorms that will be out there. Breezy today, but we'll be in the 70s. Starting off this morning with temperatures that are in the 50s to right near 60. So that, again, peak time right in the middle of the day, we have to watch out for the clouds and hopefully get enough breakage in them to see that eclipse. And the more far north and west we get away from Nashville, the lighter the cloud cover will be. Every day for the next 4 days, including today, showers and thunderstorms on the radar. Temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70. Our next totally dry day is not until Friday, for the end of the week.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic out there. Let's get a look at I-65 and Armory Drive as you make that drive in near the 100 Oaks area down there in the south side of downtown Nashville. We're doing okay. Typical slowdowns we're seeing as a lot of people bunch up as you get towards I-440, but nothing out of the extreme ordinary there happening on the south side. As a matter of fact, all of our drive times have improved greatly. Here we are, 58 minutes coming out from Clarksville. That time was up near an hour and 10 minutes at one point. Murfreesboro has improved all the way down to 56 minutes. We were nearly an hour and 15 minutes here at one point. 34 minutes still coming in from Franklin. Franklin is typical. They have a later rush hour than the rest of us out there in Williamson County.
Justin, thank you so much. In your community right now this Monday morning, 8 people, they now have keys to their very own home. It's all thanks to Habitat for Humanity and our Nashville community showing up and showing out.
Yeah, it's great to see this here. The homes that have been built, all dedicated over the weekend in North Nashville. This is in the Village by the Creek neighborhood. They have about 58 single-family homes that have been built by Habitat for Humanity. Each new house already has a homeowner ready to move in and start their new lives.
Getting finances in order, making sure that I am, just in alignment with what I need to be doing, holding myself accountable, telling my money where it needs to go to finally become a homeowner.
All of a sudden having something that can be passed down to their children for generations, the equity built up for home ownership, the stability provided, which allows children to go to the same school year after year.
Along with the home dedications, the mayor right here on your screen helping to name 2 city streets nearby after prominent local African American leaders.
Honoring Nashville's heroes, you could say right now, more than 125 citizens and police officers recognized for their bravery and outstanding acts through the last year. This is the Metro Police Department's annual award ceremony.
Yeah, kudos to them. The department also honoring those who responded to the active shooter call at the Covenant School back on March 27th of last year.
The work that the men and women do day in and day out is truly amazing. But when you look at the Covenant incident and how we responded, not just the officers that went in, they were heroic, but the officer that was taking gunfire, the teachers who sheltered kids in place, Dr. Kuntz who had the forethought to do active aggressive training, to do all that, it came together, and then to honor them for that is really truly special for us. I fought back tears when we did it.
Yeah, Chief Drake and Mayor Freddie O'Connell offering words of thanks, award plaques, certificates, and uniform ribbons to those recipients. And of course, we are all so thankful to those brave men and women. Coming together, just
Be Silent has the resources you need to start the conversation.
Hey, can we talk?
Visit Tennessee Won't Be Silent or call 988 for immediate help.
Eight 8:54, in case you missed it this morning, the big breaking news here locally. Morgan Wallen, the country singer, now facing 3 felony counts after being arrested in downtown Nashville overnight. Now, we've had a chance to get the booking photo, which is what you see here on your screen, and we've taken a look at the affidavit. 3 felony counts, 1 misdemeanor count. It all happened, according to police, at Chiefs, the brand new honky tonk there on Lower Broadway. Chiefs is the place that has Eric Church's name associated with it.
That's correct. Wallen is now charged with 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 count of disorderly conduct. His lawyers say he is cooperating fully with authorities. He is due back in court on May 3rd.
Police say he threw a chair off the rooftop bar, about 6 stories high. The Salem Town community over the weekend had a vigil after the Easter Sunday shooting that left 1 person dead and 6 others hurt.
Yeah, Roasted owner and head chef Erica Pfizer speaking out right outside of her restaurant at the vigil last night. Erica is known as Chef E to so many who frequent this restaurant in the Salem Town neighborhood. Erica was also, though, one of the 6 victims. The family most impacted, though, Alan Beecham. He did not survive.
The family of Alan Beecham and our victims, I am praying for you and with you.
Now, the suspect in that shooting is Anton Rucker. He has already been arrested. They found him in Kentucky. He's now charged with homicide and is waiting to be transferred back to Nashville.
Yeah, if you want to read some more details about that story, please go to fox17.com. We have all the updates, including a link to a GoFundMe account that is set up to help the family.
It's 8:55 right now, and we have a live look from Nashville where, so many folks have been talking about the partial solar eclipse.
Oh, wait, there's something happening today?